Okay, we are about to go live here. I clicked the go live button. Let me know if you can hear me and if you can see me. That way we know everything is going good. So like I said, as soon as you can hear me and see me, let me know. I am just going to finish sending out an email. There it is. And then I will be right there to focus. I promise. Alright, let me attach this. It's an important one or else I wouldn't be doing it right now. Man, I wish I could see this better. Can you hear me? Let's see. Let's do this way. So it's the last two. Almost done. Okay, can you see me? Oh, they can see me. It looks like some people can. Yeah, how is everybody? What's up? Glad to be here. What's up? Woot woot. The Chad army has risen. Who's Chad? What's going on, guys? I made it in time. Yes. Yes. Nothing is more important than us. Well put, Elizabeth. Well put. Here, let me send out this email. And then I just need to do one more thing. Let's see. Let's see. I need to add one more. Call it references. Copy paste. I'm almost done, I promise. And then I can give you guys my full focus. And then, what do you guys have going on today? You mean the meanwhile, it's always, yeah, I'm playing Farmville. Right. Something like that. And sent. That's enough of that garbage. What's going on, everybody, huh? All right, let's see. I gotta read the chat. What's up, Small Bean? LMFAO. He's playing Farmville. Yeah, I wish. I never really played that. My hairdo looks good, huh? Well, thanks. I don't have to wear my hat. I don't have to wear my 100% hat. 100% beach, I like to think of it as. Let's see. Hamper is using PC culture to excuse people rightly commenting on her lame lying disposition. Stream done. Yeah, right? That's probably what's going to come out to. We're actually going to take a look at a video, her treated differently because of my weight video. I was like itching to watch it because I want to hear what she says, and I haven't watched it yet because I was waiting for you guys. So we're going to take a look at it. It looks like we got the old Amber Becky combo in the beginning here. And I think I can get that on the screen if I click a button on my computer. Ooh, I just gotta go to the right area. This seems like the right one to press. Yeah, that looks good. I think you guys can see that now, right? Right there. I have like a little, if I look at the logo on my monitor, I like to think it looks like I'm looking at the video, just like you guys are, even though I don't see anything there. It's just empty. But cool. Love the channel, B2A. Well, thank you, C. Michelle. I appreciate it. Oops, sent it twice. Oh, yeah. Give me the juicy ALR sips. Eating chocolate-covered raisins. I love those. Craisins, is that what they're called? Hey, guys and girls. Handsome, you're awesome. Hey guys. Hey, greetings. What's up? Oh, boy, it's a doozy, LOL. I watched it. Yawn. Is it right? Is it boring? We'll take a look. We'll see what's up. Eating a vegan burger and catching my first live stream over here. Good times. Well, good. ALR quits weight loss. Doc, in a day. Yeah, I know. What a joke, right? Amber's kind of sad. Lots of ultra face zoom. I need to start doing more zooms, huh? Your room has had quite the glow up. Is that right? Thank you. I appreciate it. I like my couch is a little bit too far forward because my printer sits behind it, kind of under on the side, and I was just printing some stuff. So I hope that's okay. Watch 2 is a bit boring, but this will make it so much more entertaining. Craisins are dried cranberries. Oh, is that right? Craisins are dried cranberries? I thought that was like chocolate and raisins combined together. Well, whatever chocolate and raisins combined together is what I like. Raisins are okay, but I think I really like chocolate-covered raisins. Those are really good. That's one of my favorite snacks, I will say. She needs a wake-up call. Yeah, she does. A little house call, huh? Doctor's in. Time to daddy up, right? All right, let's see. We have the video here. We have all the people in. Dude, I'm literally about to go to sleep. This is going to keep me awake. I'm sorry, Vanuic. I know I try to do it based off your schedule, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, right? Hi, everyone. Yeah, everyone's just filtering in. You guys ready to rock and roll, huh? Yeah, the video is called Treated Differently Because of My Weight. Off the get-go, it's just the two of them sitting there. Looks like Amberlynn. I'll make some quick observations here. Beckles has some roses on her shirt and a backwards hat. That's pretty cool. Real 90s-ish looking. Maybe she got out of that 90s thing that she opened and didn't really show us. Amberlynn's doing the classic Duran Duran feather in the ear. I like that. That's awesome. That's her look, you know? It's a situation, right? You know, dude, you'll get sick of her soon. Every video is just bullet BS, 10-minute monetization, right? Yeah, no, I know. I get it. What's the name of Amberlynn's girlfriend again? Beckles, I like to call her. Becky for short, but Beckles, I think, is her full given name. Chad's Army, who's here? Sound off. 1, 2. Listen to Crusade from Springfield, huh? You know that there's a song I've been listening to lately called by Fun. It's All the Pretty Girls. Man, that one hops. It's a real feel-good one. Where's she in her video cycle? Right now, she's in a weird middle spot, you see, because she just canceled the program. So now she's gonna do the whole I'm trying something new here. So she's in the new policy phase because she's doing Weight Watchers until she decides to cancel it. That's where she is right now. She's in a weird hybrid one because she hasn't, as far as I can tell, she seems to be doing Weight Watchers, I guess. She's keeping on to her points. We're all Amberlynn addicted. We're all Amber addicted. Walmart pens are backwards for people. All right, are you guys ready? I feel like we're ready. Everyone got a chance to hop in. We're ready to roll. We'll probably go till 8:30 or 9 or so about an hour and a half or 2 hours, depending on what you guys want to do. Yeah, right? That sounds all right, but we'll do the cool stuff there. What's this? You hell. I'm gonna send you to hell with Big Al. LOL. Keep it up. Thanks, Christopher Young. I like your picture. It's like the God of War guy, right? That's pretty cool. I had a buddy who used to send me like filters. I think Snapchat had a filter when that game came out, and he would send me that, and he looked pretty badass. She quit her nude. Oh, of course she did. Okay, aren't chocolate raisinets? I don't know. Okay, so here we are. Treated differently because of my weight. ... A story by Amberlynn Reed. Long ago, when I was a child. All right, let's see. It's 16 minutes long, huh? Let's have a look. Well, first, let me do something crazy here. Let me turn up the desktop audio so you guys can hear what she says too. And I know you guys can't usually see it, but sometimes it helps me when I have closed captions on. Okay.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. I love that's every video, isn't it? Just out the gate with that. Hey guys. That was sweet though. They did like a dual one. Let's see.
Hey guys. Okay.
Becky was a little out of sync, but that's okay. Hi guys. No enthusiasm either. She doesn't seem excited to be there. Come on, Beckles. Let's get with the program here. Amberlynn's getting ready. Okay, let's see what we got.
So if you guys remember, we're back.
It's upside down.
Upside down.
Immediately, I'm frustrated. It brought flashbacks of when she opened that '90s kit, and everything was either upside down or she was covering it with her fingers.
If you guys remember our little, white noise video. These are a collection of questions for deeper conversations.
Oh, that's cool.
We're actually currently on
I should get some of those.
Situation. You guys...
What kind of questions are we talking here? Who would win? Like a lion versus like lion versus bear, or bear versus gorilla is the big one, right? That's it, you guys. What's the question? That's the question. Who would win, a gorilla or a bear, if they were gonna fight? Like a big grizzly bear or a big gorilla? Or like, what about a lion versus a bear, or a lion versus a gorilla? What do you think, huh? These are the questions people need to be asking and answering too.
I have probably seen the vlogs already. I don't know. If you haven't, hi. We're on a vacation.
Hi.
So last time we did.
You guys work so hard. You deserve a vacation.
11 questions. So if you didn't watch that video, you definitely could.
Oh.
Should.
That's zoomed in. Look at. No, I'm not going to.
Should.
Should.
So these are how many.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Obviously, we're not going to do them all in this video. But if you didn't watch that last video,
what a goofy gal.
Choosing a random question.
We're not going to go back and forth here. With her dirty hands, her dirty little rat fingers. That's mean. Slimy rat fingers. What up, Yestervark? Hey, Alifa. It's cool that I can talk to the chat because 80% of everything they say is just garbage. Like it's just nonsense. Does this sound? Is that we
me
can't
that
hear?
was
So no idea.
First of all,
Is that right? Is it still too quiet? Let me see. Maybe if I do this. But then people will be all, oh, but now I can hear and they don't want to.
I have lived the life of someone who was just overweight.
Uh-huh.
I've lived the life of someone who was morbidly obese.
Okay.
And I've also lived the life of someone who is super morbidly obese.
Yeah, we know.
And
we
every single one of those, I get treated differently. And it's kind of poopy.
Okay, so we've already hit actually the topic of our video. I'm surprised. I thought it was going to take the whole video, we were going to get to it, and then we weren't even going to talk about it. So here we are. It's treated differently because of my weight. Now, we can't hear Amberlynn. Can you hear her now? I turned it up a little bit. So maybe you can hear her now. I'll even turn it up a little bit more. We'll get really wild with it. I don't want to turn it up too much because I don't want to be the focus of the thing. Is that a Dragon Ball Z poster? No, it's not. It's there's a Fallout one and a Space Jam one. Okay, so the topic is treated differently because of my weight. Now, before we get, Amberlynn already kind of told us what she thinks about it. She says it's poopy. What do you guys think? Do you think it is poopy? And if it's poopy, how poopy is it? That's, I guess, the real question that I want to know. So, is it okay to treat someone different based on how much they weigh? If so, why? And if not, why? If it's not okay, is it on the same level as treating someone differently based off their age or their race, or or is it more similar to like what they politically believe in or religiously believe in? Like what is okay and what is not okay to treat someone differently based off of, you know? Because, well, things aren't super black and white in the real world, and there's tons of gray area. Like, you might say, well, everyone's political ideas should be treated the same, right? But then to invoke Godwin's law, what if you meet like a Nazi face to face, like someone who literally believes in the Nazi dogma? Does that hold the same weight, you know? Or like if it's religion, if it's a ridiculous religion or something that it's a joke religion, should that be taken as seriously? And then translate that into physical properties, some that people can control, some that they can't control. Now, I say that because sometimes people can not control or they have less control over weight gain. Yeah, it's a pretty like, people are treated differently based on looks. Of course, there's psychological studies that confirm people are treated differently on their looks. I'm not contesting that people are treated differently. I'm not contesting that if a handsome, skinny, buff dude walks in and a slobby dude walks in next to her that's overweight, or next to him that's overweight and out of shape and breathing heavy and stuff, I'm not saying that they're going to be treated equally. I'm saying, is it wrong? Is it wrong to treat them differently? Amberlynn says it's kind of poopy to treat people like that differently. The tricky thing is there's so much gray area, and there's I'll talk about it more in a little bit. Let's hear what she has to say a little bit, and then I'll tell you guys kind of what I think about it. Nazis can die. Nazis don't lie, I thought is what you said, but let's see. She's different. I just want to see what you guys say a little bit here. Okay, cool. All right, let's continue. Let's see.
I get treated worse with how I look now.
Oh, sure.
And I feel like
I can believe it.
Very shallow of people to judge someone based on how they look and treat them a certain way based on how they look. I don't think that's fair.
Maybe.
I feel like everyone should have an equal opportunity. I get a lot of...
Sure, yeah, I agree for the most part, right? Maybe it is shallow. Maybe it is unfair that you don't have, I guess, access to the same opportunities that are there. One thing I want to throw out there, though, because let's play devil's advocate a little bit. People judge things that people always look for patterns when they see people do things, or they look for patterns in people's behaviors and people's looks, because certain patterns mean certain things, right? Like if you always get, or if you always see people with really greasy hair as a pattern, you can probably assume that most of those maybe just don't wash their hair as much, you know, like that's a pattern that means something. But you might end up, because of that pattern, including some people that are exceptions to the rule. So maybe some people just have overproductive oil glands or something, or, you know, for whatever reason. Or maybe they have a product in their hair that makes it oily because they like it that way, and they actually wash it like 2 times a day or something. That is kind of the downside of having patterns, but there's a reason they're there. And I think that one of the reasons that people are treated differently is there's a certain type of behavior that's associated with certain looks. And it's not a good behavior. When people see people that are a bit bigger, they think, oh, maybe it's, you know, lazier, not taking care of themselves as much. So when you jump into do an opportunity and you see someone who clearly does take very well care of themselves, they're very well kept, they have, their hair's done nice, they're in shape, you can tell they're going to the gym all the time, and then you meet someone that looks like they just rolled off the couch, you can probably get some assumptions from them, and just off of that, you'd usually assume that the person that takes care of themselves maybe has their life together a little bit more, maybe they are more responsible, maybe they are more driven, maybe they're more, they're able to get out there and do things more because they care about their own body and they care about their image, so they're going to care about their performance as well. And like I said, there's a lot of exceptions to this that happen and get swept up in all of it, but I think that's usually what people are inferring from that, and I don't know if that's necessarily a bad or a wrong thing to do, because like it's like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, right? If there's a certain type of behavior or a certain type of look or something of people that always end up screwing you over, are you a bad person for no longer trusting people when you see that type of behavior? You know what I mean? If that makes any sense, just kind of playing the victim card, stereotyping can be dangerous for sure, but at the same time, patterns are there because they work. Like we can. That's the tricky thing, is when they go too far, is when they're too vague. Let's see.
Rude comments towards me, whether that be in like real life or whatever. Like people stare at me in public. Obviously, I get a lot of hate online about how I look.
Yeah, you do. I think the hate online about how you look is, if I had to break it down into a percentage, I think it's more like 60 or 80%. I think it's 20 or 40% that you're actually overweight. I think that's where that hate comes from. I think it's 60-80% people upset that you preach about losing weight and that you're trying to lose weight, and then you look the way you are and you keep getting bigger. I think that's where more of the hate comes from, as opposed to you actually being big. Like, Amberlynn, people didn't track down your YouTube channel, and people don't watch and hate on your YouTube channel because you're a bigger girl. They're not like, haha, she's fat, that's really funny, huh? That's such a morbid, such a dark way to look at it. It's because you're the very thing. It's because you're not doing what you're preaching. You're preaching something that you're not willing to do yourself, and it makes you look like a hypocrite. And people hate hypocrites. They can't stand them, and they love to watch hypocrites crash and burn on the path that they preach. You know what I mean? It's the same reason that people were fascinated when those pastors of those mega churches were flying private jets, and they just bought like a $20 million private jet, but they're a pastor of a church. And you have to ask yourself, isn't that kind of hypocritical? Aren't you kind of going against what you're trying to teach, which is love thy neighbor and share the wealth, and like try to help others? Like, maybe you don't need a private jet. In the same case here, maybe you're not giving out the best message there, right? I think that's a big reason that people hate on you. And as for in real life, people kind of just tend to. People don't notice things that are there, things that hide in plain sight. People are like, whatever, they'll go right over. Like, you wouldn't notice an Amazon box. If you walk into an Amazon factory or an Amazon warehouse and you saw an Amazon box, you wouldn't even notice it. But if you walked into an Amazon warehouse and you saw a Ferrari sitting in the middle of the floor, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of out of place. When people look around and they see people that are like up to 300 pounds or 350, for even 400 pounds, the 400 pounds, that's getting rare. They're like, oh, like whatever, that's kind of normal. That's kind of what's normal-ish. And then they see you and they're like, whoa, you just took, like, there's a bell curve of people and you're way over here. And when they see that, it's really interesting. It's like seeing people who have like if you saw a guy with buck teeth that came down below his chin, you'd be rude, and maybe it's unfair to stare, and maybe it's unfair to treat him differently, but you'd look at his teeth and you'd be like, that's kind of weird, right? You'd lean over to your friend, hey dude, did you see that guy's weird teeth? You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of an outlier, and outliers draw attention, and it's not always good attention, unless it's a cool thing to be an outlier in, like you're a savant at the piano or something.
It's like 331.
But you're
I
not
got treated so much better than how I get treated.
Yeah,
now.
I don't doubt it. Hey, an ad? Am I getting
I've lost
blasted with an
13
ad?
pounds so far, and
No, that's what happens when I go incognito. Get out of here.
I could rant about this for 500 years. I feel like, all right.
What have we got here?
How would you change the way you live if you had complete legal immunity?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Wow.
You know what? If I had complete legal immunity, what can people go after you for? I would try to, like, there's got to be ways to try to make money or something. Or if you have complete legal immunity and no one can touch you legally, you can't break any laws. Well, you try to steal stuff, right? That's like the way to do it. You'd find someone that you think deserves it, and you're like, you know what, dude, I'm just gonna take like a couple $100 from them. Or you know what? If I had complete legal immunity, I would take a bunch of movies and I would re-upload them on a bunch of different places. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I would try to put like my own advertisements in to try to make money and watch them try to get me with copyright stuff because they can't because I'm legally immune. You know what I mean? That seems like the way to go. You can make more money that way and it's probably easier. Plus people will probably beat you up if you try to steal their money. You know? You got to watch out for that. Also, I'd break into places at night. I'd go walking at night and I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to go swimming in a pool. And I'd just like go break into a pool and just go swimming at night. You know? Because what are they going to do? Can't touch me. I wish Beckles would understand that she's Amber's caregiver at this point. Yeah, someone was talking, and like, it's just a question I don't like to think too much about because it's kind of gross. But at some point when people get big enough, they can't like clean and wipe themselves. You know what I mean? And I don't like to really think about it, but at some point there has to be an issue that arises. You know what I mean?
Legal immunity.
Yeah.
Beckles, what would you do?
I mean,
I guess everything in the world's legal.
I think Becky would get a katana and she'd end up being like a
everything that's
samurai.
illegal should
She'd
be
bring honor to
illegal
your family.
except for like, you know, a very
What's
small
this?
few things, but like,
I wouldn't kill anybody if that's the question.
you know, I'm not gonna go out and murder someone.
NW Country Girl 17. When you were 300 pounds, you hadn't spent years lying. Exactly right. Exactly right. Man, that's so true. Yeah, insider trading as well would be a great way to do it, right? I don't know. Pounds. Pro tip to skip ads ahead to the last 30 seconds of her video and let it run to the end, then replay the vid. She won't get the AdSense for the vid. I don't super understand that, and I usually use YouTube Premium, so I don't know if I'm gonna learn how to get around ads. We're watching it. I'll let her have the 3 cents that she gets. I love that you'd illegally watch movies and go swimming. I think you misunderstand. I'd illegally upload other people's movies and TV shows and try to find a way to make money from it. That's what I would do. I would probably still just own Hulu or something because honestly, if I don't really worry about the legal consequences of pirating stuff as it is. But re-uploading is what I would do.
I mean, you know.
At that point, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, I'd go pull together like all the popular people on YouTube. They could yell at me all they want. What are they gonna do? I'm the one person who has legal immunity, and I just try to draw people into my channel.
There's a few people I would like to just, you know.
I'm Beckles. I love how everyone's calling her Beckles.
Maybe beat someone up. I don't know. I haven't seen this person in like.
She's gonna beat someone up, huh?
So
is beating people up illegal?
Yes, 100%. Right? That's assault. So is beating people up illegal? Like Amberlynn thinks she's wasting her legal immunity or something?
I mean, yeah, you.
I guess it would be right.
I get
There's
it.
just someone out there that really deserves it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not gonna say who, but I've not seen this person in.
Is it
like
Zachary
4 or 5
Michael?
years
Wait, tell
anyway.
me.
Just joking.
Who's that?
What are your imperfections, and which one is your favorite?
Ooh.
Why am I getting so
Maybe
many
that
of
face.
these?
I don't know.
Becky
guess
stacked the deck. I
The
think.
biggest like imperfection about me
Weight. I guess, and that's my guess. Is that your final answer? Doo-doo-doo. Locked in. Wait.
is that I'm fat.
I was right, dude. You know what? I wish I could change my answer though. Can you change your answer even after you get it right? Because I think it's the lying. I think is what it is, or the deception. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little
Me
lies.
too, but
You're not fat. Okay.
I like how Amber's trying to be nice, but let's all agree here, right? That's something, you know what I'm getting at.
So I'm just gonna go with that. Like that's an imperfection. Which one of my imperfections is my favorite?
Can I go over here
think
more?
I have
Just
any
get rid of it.
favorites of
Your
because
favorite
obviously I
imperfection?
like- Wait. This is a hard question.
Yeah, I think fat was a good answer. You could have just
I don't
said
have an
weight.
answer.
That's like the more
So
politically
basically,
appropriate thing to
the
say,
only way
but
you would like yourself is if you were perfect.
Correct.
Maybe that could be your imperfection.
Your face.
Oh, Becky. Oh, Becky.
What are 3 things that would instantly put you in a bad mood?
Oh. Before Amberlynn answers, what do we think? 3 things that put me in a bad mood. If I can hear people eat loudly, like that, or if they're like talking while they're eating, to me specifically, and food's coming out of their mouth. If I see food come out of your mouth while you're talking to me and you don't change your actions, we're going to have a problem. I'm going to say like, hey, can you just like chew, please, before you keep talking to me? There's going to be that. You know what? I think I tweeted this the other day too. My biggest pet peeve, the fastest way is to make me immediately just like super frustrated. Well, you know what? I'll save that one for last. My second one is when I ask a specific question and you give me kind of a roundabout answer to it and we're in a bit of a hurry. Like, I was playing one of my strategy games and I was going to send money to another country who was my ally, but he was kind of getting on my nerves. And I had some money and I'm trying to manage a whole bunch of things at one time. And he's like, man, I need money. And I was like, okay, well, how much do you need? And he's like, well, I'm in debt. So I just said, okay, well, that's not what I asked. So never mind, forget about it. And I just like... Come on, dude. Just tell me a number. I don't... So, and then or like, in the same vein, he would like ask me for help, and he's like, I need some money, and I'm like, okay, well, how much do you need? Well, I'm in debt. Can you check how much I'm in debt? And it's like, yeah, man, here, let me stop everything that I'm doing across the world in this strategy game so that I can go pull up a list, search your name, and find how much debt you have so that I can give you money to get out of debt while you all just have to click a button or hover your mouse over a thing to see the debt and you just have to tell me. Yeah, that makes sense. But no, my biggest pet peeve is when you pitch a hypothetical to somebody, like a what-if question, and their response is, well, that wouldn't happen because, yeah, I know it wouldn't happen. That's why I said, what if? What if you were on a raft and there were sharks that were just circling the raft? How would you react to that? Well, that wouldn't happen because sharks don't actually circle things, and I would never be on a raft in the ocean. Well, what if? Well, what if you were on a raft in the ocean? You know what? You just have to change it. You have to kind of make them into the asshole. You have to say, yeah, well, what if you were in a dream that you were on a raft and sharks were circling you? Because you can't get out of that one, can ya? And then you have to kind of remind them. See, maybe you should just answer it instead of making me reword my question so that you could make it make sense. That's my... Those are the 3 things that instantly make me mad.
Me?
No,
What do you think?
Casper behind you.
What do you think, babes?
Irritable anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like, traffic.
Traffic.
Driving is definitely something.
Sometimes traffic
I
makes
get
me
very
kind of irritated, but not always.
In front of me,
Not usually.
People not using their turn signals.
People driving dangerously makes me, or not following the rules of traffic. Not following rules. That is maybe one of my other biggest pet peeves. That kills me because we're all agreeing there's an unspoken rule. It's not even unspoken, it's written. We're all going to follow the rules. Or like when you play a board game with people and you're like 10 turns in. I don't care if rules are changed in a board game, but you have to do it in the beginning or the very beginning before it affects anything. You see, because if you go like 10 turns into a game and all of a sudden like someone gets a bad hand or something, that's just part of the game. They'll go, oh, well, maybe we can change it to do it this way. And it's, why? That's the rules. That's just kind of how the game is. You got a bad hand. That's part of the game. Who wants to play a game where everybody wins all the time? That sounds kind of lame, right? Try to come back from it, you know? Jeez. What an annoying thing. But with traffic stuff, if people swerve over one lane at a time, like, you know how you're supposed to go one lane and then one lane. You're not supposed to go 2 lanes over at one time. Or if you take a turn, you're supposed to get into the closest lane. You're not supposed to cut out into a later lane. I hate that kind of stuff.
Abrupt stops for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Well,
That
there's
sort
always a
of
reason.
thing. Probably someone else being in a bad mood would put me in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I just keep going on rants at stuff that bothers me. Another thing that gets me, along with people being in a bad mood, when you're playing a video game and people start really getting mad at you for not doing good enough or something, or they start being a real dick to you, and then you just kind of have to say, listen, we're playing a video game. I'm playing this to wind down, not get wound up. You know what I mean? Like, are you playing this? Are you playing this for serious? Like, are you playing for like $10,000? If we're playing for money, we can discuss getting mad at each other for not doing very well or not really fully focusing. But yeah. Oh yeah, I see that one. Who said that? Luna K. I scream turn signal, a-hole, at drivers all the time. Yeah, I hate when drivers don't have a turn signal. I do one of these. You know.
relatable.
Probably someone dropping plans at the last minute.
That's okay. I get it. I do it sometimes too.
You know, there's like, oh,
so it doesn't really bother me.
Decided I wanted to go here and do this.
People always have reasons, you know. If they don't want to hang out, then why do you want them to be there? That's kind of my philosophy on it.
Why couldn't you tell me this earlier?
Look at that face.
So yeah, that's probably 3 things that would put me in a bad mood, like automatically.
Is that right?
Oh.
Ow!
Name a country or a culture you wish you knew more about.
Ooh. That's a really good question.
Japan.
Yeah,
because,
Japan's
they're
cool.
So far ahead of us. Like, they're so technological. And
you think that's because of culture?
Yeah, and they're creative people. And
I think that when the question was like learn more about culture, it wasn't more about like what are you trying to learn about their business culture, how hard they work? Is that what you're going after? I think the question, when she said Japan, I thought she was going to be more like, you know, like the history of Japan when they had daimyos and like a shogun and stuff, and they were a whole bunch of different kingdoms. The fascinating thing with Japan is that they maintained a feudal system way after everyone else did. So until like the 1850s or 60s or so, they were like 1,000 years behind everybody else. And then within 30 to 50 years, they caught up with like 1,000 years of technology. And they are like they're one of the only Asian countries in the world to really challenge any European power in any real major way. And they did it after like Japan had only really been modern for like 50 years when World War II happened, and before that they had just become modern. They defeated Russia in the field, they took over Korea, they had been whooping China. They are a really interesting country when it comes to really anything, and that's even like recent history. You can go way back with Japan. Somewhere that I think that I don't understand a ton about culture, that I wish I knew more about, would probably be maybe like the Islamic Middle East, or it would be India, I guess, because I think that those are kind of boring to listen to read about. I wish I just knew, you know? I wish I just knew.
And their
Hi,
food's
guys.
great.
Their food's great? Yeah, iffy on that one. I'm not a big fish eater, though.
I'm so picky.
She is picky.
I don't like
I'm going to choose the top card.
Oh, wow.
What are you most grateful for this week?
Ooh.
I like that question.
What do you think?
Grateful for this week to take this trip with you.
The love of my bae. Where are they at, do you think?
Ourselves out with a normal.
Are they in like a hotel right now?
Something like this
they just rolled some chairs out in front of the door and were like, you know, let's do it. It looks like a hotel. Like you can see like the door handles in the back.
It was literally a year ago.
Yeah.
Huh.
Something
Literally, huh?
Me and you has been 2 years ago.
Okay, nerds.
Yeah.
So.
I'm grateful for it too.
Mm-hmm. Well, the question wasn't for you.
Break your routine for a minute, even if it is just staying in a hotel and chilling, because it leaves you and your partner.
I like to walk around and when I'm in a different city in a hotel, I like to walk around and
it's
like
a nice feeling. It's just that
just see what's around. I'm a big walker.
No
I love walking. Whenever my brother visits me, I always ask him if he wants to go for a walk.
I know a lot of people like Amberlynn and Becky don't do anything all day. No,
they don't.
We have responsibilities to do at home.
Like what? Like what, Amberlynn? Declutter? Write in your notebook? What is your responsibilities at home? What's your responsibility at home that nobody else also has a job? Like if you have a job at home, what is Amberlynn's responsibility at home that you don't have? You know, that's like when a kid asks for money from a parent and the parent says, well, maybe if you had a job or like maybe if you did stuff around the house, and the kid says, I do stuff, and they just like, I don't know. Like they pick up half of their room and by kicking stuff under the bed, and they think that counts as cleaning and it counts as like doing their chores. That's exactly what this is here. This video said they're on vacation in Lexington, huh? In what? Lexington? Where is Lexington? I don't know. That's where that's like a Revolutionary War thing, right? Lexington and Concord. Where the shot heard around the world. I think it was at Concord, right? For those of you guys that don't know, that's the shot that officially started the Revolutionary War. And Hot Cheetos, they don't. Panda Express orange chicken. I've never had Panda Express before. I don't think there's any of them that are close to me. There's a bunch of Chinese places, but none that are like that. Woo! What do we got?
And we have stresses that we have in our life.
Yeah.
And moments like this just kind of make you sit down and reflect, and I don't know, I like it.
Yeah, there's no distractions. There's no other people. There's, you know...
You guys work so hard.
As much as I love my pets, I don't have, you know...
I know. You guys have working man's hands. You have calluses on your hands because of how hard you work.
I know.
Vacation from what? You had no job. Exactly, right? Exactly.
You can't bring them with you.
The dogs? Oh, you miss your dogs?
That's a rarity.
Like, I'm not trying to sound bad or anything, but like a night or so, like maybe
Lexington is a city in Kentucky,
okay,
huh?
Like,
okay.
That,
I thought maybe it's Kentucky.
It's not okay. And if we keep looking out there,
it's the capital.
This,
Louisville
really
is the
big
capital.
window, and like,
yep,
it's just so pretty.
Hello.
Yeah, that's actually very distracting.
That's our only distraction is the view.
I like your art in the back. It's just fences on grass.
Yeah, it's more exciting that way.
Oh.
What are misconceptions about your country and people that you would like to dispel?
Ooh.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? What does that mean? It's what things that people think about America that you think are incorrect and you think should be fixed. That's what they're asking. What do I think is a misconception about Americans that I think should be fixed? That is a really good question. Let's see what they have to say.
What's dispel?
American stereotypes.
Yep.
That everyone's fat, I guess.
You want to dispel that, huh? Maybe it's the wrong people to try to dispel that one.
Has an obesity problem.
You think so?
Yeah, because when you compare
straight from the horse's mouth, huh?
Drinks versus like other countries, they don't even have that side.
That is true, actually. That is something I was surprised about when I went to Frankfurt's the capital of Kentucky. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. When I went to Ireland once, there was a Burger King there. And like every drink was like a size smaller. Like a medium would have been there with like, it was like a small here. A large there was like a medium here kind of a thing. And they didn't go bigger than that. I thought that was really interesting. And even then, for a couple days, I was just surprised because even like all the portions were just a little bit smaller. And I was like, oh, interesting. And a lot of people were a lot thinner. Let's see, what else?
I've seen this thing on Facebook. Where it was comparing the same thing in UK that's the same thing in America. They put corn syrup in everything in America.
Yeah, do you know why? I'll agree. That's actually a really big issue in America, and a lot of it is because corn syrup is so cheap because the government subsidizes corn very heavily to the point where a lot of other countries around the world that try to grow corn can't do it profitably because they can't compete with America. So it's actually a big thing in Mexico and South America. When they try to grow corn, they go to market with it and it doesn't sell for very much because so much corn is made in America because the government pays farmers to make corn. And because it's so cheap, it's also cheap then to use it for everything. So corn syrup, that's why corn is in everything, is because it's so heavily subsidized and it's so heavily used. And it's a big problem too, and it's a really hard one to fix because one of the first places that you go to when you're campaigning for president of the United States is Iowa, and that's corn country. So you have to campaign really heavily. You can't, and if you lose Iowa, it's a really bad sign for your presidency. So you have to like kind of play around with that issue, and a lot of people aren't willing to touch it because it's a kind of a heavy political football, and it's not worth going after because not many people will care, and it might shoot you in the foot, and it's really easy for people to attack you if you do that. I think a big American misconception, I always had, well, when I play stuff with Europeans, one thing that's really frustrating is when Americans are just talking about things, and you know who it is? It's people from Spain. I've noticed people from Spain will do it. Some French people will do it. It's not some people from the UK, kind of, but not really. It's mainly people from, like, I think Spain. I don't know. This is people I've talked to, so I'm totally speaking anecdotally here. But will go on a random rant about how Americans think they're in the center of the world and how ignorant we are. And while, I'm sure there's tons of people here who aren't very knowledgeable about the rest of the world, but I'll throw out there it's a little bit different because we're a lot farther away from the rest of the world and we know more about our continent, and if we asked them about our continent, I'm sure that they would be a lot, you know what I mean, they wouldn't know as much about our continent either, but that wouldn't be fair to say that they're ignorant of the rest of the world. It's really not, I don't think, a fair comparison. And plus, by going on a rant about how you think that they think they're the center of the world, it kind of makes it sound like you think you're the center of the world, and that's a little frustrating. So I think that that a lot of Americans are America-centric, I think, is kind of overblown. A lot of people are, but then there's also a lot of people who love the European systems. You know, like there's the whole left wing of the country loves European systems.
Everything.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll throw out there. I think that there's an argument to be made in defense of America-centrism. It was the 2007 American financial market crash that caused the world recession, you know? Like, maybe it's kind of okay for America to be America-centric when the entirety of the rest of the world looks to America before they make any decision. You know what I mean? Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay.
You're not eating out of a freaking vegetable garden? Forget it.
Yeah, me and Eric were just talking about it because in America, like, we have seen videos and proof of this. Me and Eric was literally just talking about this. Like,
what have you seen?
If
Tell
you
me
just go
with
to
your
the
eyes.
Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, and you're buying yourself healthy foods like cucumbers and tomatoes and pineapples and all that type of stuff. They're painting, like, say a cucumber. If a cucumber doesn't look appetizing, like the color of it, they'll paint it green.
Oh, really?
Of course, it's an edible paint, but still, the fact that
I didn't know that
the government is okay with that is terrifying.
I don't think that's terrifying. I think, if anything, the government shouldn't be watching all that so closely and shouldn't be picking and choosing what's allowed and what's not allowed. But I'm okay with that. Don't you want your food to be edible? Like, I've heard too that in, like, if you get beef and the beef has, like, your beef is like red, I think that I've heard that that's not blood. That's it's like coloring. Someone told me that one time. I don't know. It could be total BS. I have no idea, but.
Now we're going on on a whole different thing.
Right.
So the question was, how are misconceptions about your country and people that you would like to dispel? Okay.
All right, hit us with it.
Misconceptions.
Nerd.
Honestly, I don't feel like there is any.
Yeah,
I
you don't
can't
think
of
so?
any. I feel like
Most of them are like 98% of them are freaking true.
yeah, because I feel like if there's something that's like
I don't know if it's a misconception, but here's one. A lot of times with when I've talked to Europeans, they will only, like, they'll think you're either a Californian or a New Yorker. So I think a misconception is that it's not really a misconception, but like a misunderstood thing is how many people live in flyover country and how many people live in the center of the country and how different their cultures are. There's different regions too. Like, one, I think, big misconception about not so much America as a whole, but a region in America in like the South. I think it's a really bad rap for being hicks and hillbillies and dumb people, but kind of like anywhere else, you have wealthier, more intelligent people in the urban areas and less intelligent, not as wealthy people in the rural areas, with tons of exceptions, but that's tends to be how things go. And it's the same in the South as well. You can find hicks in the South, no doubt, but you can find hicks anywhere across the country, right? And you can find really smart people in the South, and you can find really smart people anywhere. It's really a misconception that all people in the South are, like, racist, big, like, stupid, suspender wearing, people like that.
being said, like, oh, America's fat. I mean, that's a really rude way of saying it. But
you're gonna get fat people no matter where you go.
Yeah. There's just more here in Australia too. I think I've heard, but I don't know.
For a woman is like 14 or 18 or 16.
I don't know what that translates into. You should have thrown out like a weight.
In a different country, it's
doesn't make any sense.
It's gonna be like 10 or something.
Babe.
I mean, I know that in the Bible Belt, or in the South, everybody's painted as redneck or Bible thumper, and that's not true.
Hey,
I could do ones for like states.
Nice.
For sure. Like, everyone thinks that everyone in Hollywood are just these stuck up little things.
She said what I was thinking. She said exactly what I was saying. And in mine, a lot of people think that everyone just loves cheese and has cheese and everything, and that's mostly true. But I don't like cheese.
No. What am I saying?
Stuck up.
Stuck up. I said stuck up. This one, she thinks that.
I know.
And I don't agree.
That's a good point, Beckles.
I'm not saying they all are. I'll say a big portion, yeah.
And then there's people who, supposedly Becky said there's people who think that people in Kentucky don't even wear shoes or have electricity. That's
Exactly.
weird. What?
It's ridiculous. Who doesn't have electricity in America? Exactly.
We had a missionary come to our school one time. He's like, I'm surprised you guys have electricity. And I'm just like, what?
What? Exactly.
Satellite TV at home.
Man, that's exactly right. Good call.
I can't walk outside without wearing shoes. I mean, I'm such a wimp. I go swimming
Yep,
with shoes
we
on.
get it.
Oh, nice.
What's something you do now that your future self would be proud of?
Oh. Weight Watchers if you stick with it.
I'm still very big into manners.
Yeah.
Like, I like to use the whole, thank you, sir, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
How
sir.
are you today?
Okay.
Holding doors open.
And you're going to be proud of that? She's going to look
back.
back and be like, I was really glad I said thank you, sir.
Oh, changing it up.
What's up? What do we got?
At what point
Hit me
does
with
a
it.
place start to feel like home?
At what point, what is it? What point does a place start to feel like home? You know what? That's a good question. If you have been sleeping there for a week, I think it starts to feel like home. I think that's where that's for me when it gets fully cemented. Read my chat, huh? Okay, I'll hit it with that. Let's see. Let me jump through the chat here. I'll take a little break. Okay, is tipping culture. What confuses me about America is tipping culture. Oh, like leaving tips for waiters? For a second I was thinking like cow tipping. Tipping culture, huh? I don't know. I guess. It's just one of those things that you just do. Hard to explain, I guess. It's whatever. What's a couple bucks to toss in there? I don't like how this is like half covering up my face when I'm talking about stuff. I have to make this smaller again. Yeah, that seems fine. Let's see. What confused me? Hi, complaining about food. She's still going to gorge down. Yep. How do you get that 600 pounds? It's insane. You'd think that there'd be a line, right? Becky looks bored. Here she does. My mom thought California was in Florida. I used to think that Mount Rushmore was in Washington State. Not anymore, of course. A great misconception that Japan has for the U.S. is that we greet via mouth kiss. Is that really a thing that people think that Americans do? Well, do some Europeans do like the, like, you know what I mean, on the cheek? That's like how I think of French people. You know? I don't understand what she was saying about painted cucumbers. Is she for real? I wouldn't be surprised if they just do like a little spray to make them look better. I'm sure it's an edible paint that goes on there. Some fruits and veggies have a wax coating. Not sure about paint. Yeah, I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised, though. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just like food coloring stuff, probably. Just start talking about food and she'll get hungry and go eat. Maybe that's why they eat less aggressive, not to eat the vegetarian, all the painting. Maybe. How do you know she's reporting? If you ask a European to do an American accent, it's usually either a Cali girl accent or a deep Southern accent. Yeah, that's fair. It's hard. Like, what is the standard American accent? Let me suck on your toes, Yistervark. No, that's okay. Maybe next time. Wax is one thing, and that's for food representation. But paint? Well, that's like people just make things look good, you know? Citrus is often painted, cucumbers are waxed. Becky's eyes tell all. She looks bored. She really does. You're kind of right in Scotland. I'd say most of us see California, New York, and Florida because a lot of people go there for holidays, and the rest of the states are just kind of lumped together. Exactly. Really smart Southern lady and not under conservative. What? Pity Becky. The eyes have it. Cyberbullying is illegal. Whatever. I've never painted citrus, and using orange and lemon zest would be gross if they were painted. You say, I've never had painted citrus. You probably have. I mean, if that's what they do, you probably have and didn't realize it. And then if you saw one without it, you'd be like, oh, this looks gross, you know? But if you say you're from New York, they assume you're from the city. That is a big misconception when people say New York. It's tricky, though, because they have the same name. Ethiopians have those big, fat, distended bellies because they are starving and have worms. What? Is that just a little fun fact? I'm telling y'all, Becky wants to get away. She had an epiphany while she was away. You know, maybe, and I feel like when you're with family, too, maybe she was kind of being told by her family she doesn't need to be there, huh? SB. I don't see any bullying. LOL. Whatever. Yeah, bullying. Whatever. Get me a break. You don't like cheese. I guess you're not allowed to say anything about anybody, right? If bullying is so horrible, right? Man, I can't call you a goofball, right? Because that might hurt somebody's feelings. Yeah, heaven forbid we can't have a normal conversation, you know? In the last video, ALR said Becky lost 30 pounds. ALR is now 300 pounds more than Becky, and the angle it really shows it. Yeah, it doesn't do him any favors. Dumber than a box of hammers. I've heard dumber than a box of rocks, or like not the sharpest tool in the shed, right? Let's see. Let's jump down a little bit. Let's see. You're bullying us and keep shaming us for talking. Exactly. Well, where is Desby? I keep seeing him here and there, but now where the fake Desby? Is a Despi a real person? Servers don't make federal minimum wage. Most, at least in Virginia, make $2.35. Yep, that sounds about right. I mean, I used to be a waiter a long time ago. And I think it was like $2.25 or $2.35 or so. And then you just make tips on top. But if you go under, if you don't, like, for the day make your minimum wage or whatever, then you get your minimum wage. It like comes in as a backup. Life is hard, Amber. Get over yourself and your opening line, being a hypocrite online. You are the problem. Exactly. No matter who you are on the internet, whether you are the cutest, best looking, most in shape, nicest person ever, you're going to get people that will give you thumbs downs, and you're going to get people that are making fun of you or just being plain rude. You know why? Because they're trolls on the internet and they're looking for an emotional response. And when you show them an emotional response like this, you're giving them what they want. Despi loves her copy pasta and her actual pasta. I don't know who Despi is. Amber spent how much time spending. Big green circle, we don't necessary. Let's see. Oh, I missed it. I didn't get to see the definition. That's the instant definition and all, but the bullying has to be abusive and incite violence. Nobody here is doing that, and I fear your SJW tactics are out of line. Agreed. I need to see greeting someone with a whole full kiss on the mouth. Could you imagine? Despi. Who is Despi? I can't, I'm like looking for it. I don't see it. Please do not call us goofballs. I am reporting you as we speak. Sorry, sir. Amber, come back. Oh man, what a joke. I dare you to wink. Bet you won't. Double dog. I want to be the capital city goofball. Or a goon. Despi is her pretend person. She can protect herself in the comments on her own video. Oh, that's right. I think I saw someone tweet something about it. Is Amber's fake account. Don't incite the army for bully us, Vark. Let's pray to Lord Amber so B won't report us. Destiny's buy all that land. Oh my god, what a joke. All right, let's see.
That's hard because this is...
What was the question?
Know. I feel like a house is a home.
Okay, I remember the question now.
Comfortable there when it becomes like your safe haven kind of.
And grass is green and the sky is blue, so that's
like
not really answering the question. That's like that pet peeve I was talking about. Just answer, why are you giving me this roundabout crap? How long until a house feels like a home? Well, a home is like when you feel like safe, and when you, it's like where you will sleep and blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, I know that that's what a home is. How long? Fine. I guess you were going to make us rephrase it. How long until a house becomes those things? Are you happy now that we had to rephrase it? You goofball?
I haven't had a home.
Amberlynn, I love you. You're so quirky,
I don't think I've ever
fun,
had
cute.
a home. Like,
Babe.
now that I think of it, because to me, home is very where the heart is, and my heart really isn't like in Kentucky per se.
Okay.
I don't know where my heart is. It's like floating around. I don't know. Maybe.
I think home is where you make it, and I think life is what you make it. You know. So that being said, I think that your inability to find a home like that is part of what can make people unhappy. I mean. So yeah, but I think that makes sense.
My heart's inside of Twinkie, so wherever Twinkie
My heart's
is,
inside
wherever
of
Becky
Twinkie?
is, wherever. So I guess maybe it is.
Get outside of Twinkie.
I don't know.
Get out of it.
That's a hard question, but I feel like a house becomes a home when you have family and love, and it's like your vibe is inside of the house. And
That's not a
all your
when.
Stuff.
That's
and
not a
it's
when.
comfy and
That's a how.
It just.
That's
makes
how
you
something
feel
becomes a home. That's not
like
when.
It's your safe place. That's when it becomes.
Answer
home.
the question.
What do I want? Do I want?
What a joke.
In what ways are you privileged?
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh.
These are deep.
I mean, people are gonna throw out the white thing. I guess white American thing. I don't subscribe necessarily to that school of thought. You might have some privileges because you're white or because of where you were born, but you can't control that. So it's like a kind of a weird thing to. Well, I guess that's kind of what a privilege is. I just hate when people start getting treated differently because of it, I guess. But I think one of her privileges is she's been very blessed with a very successful YouTube channel that doesn't really push out, like, groundbreaking content.
Okay, well, I mean, it's hard enough to be a woman and gay.
Oh, yeah.
But
You're so brave. That must be really hard to be a woman that doesn't have to go to work and just lives at home off YouTube money. Man, that must be really hard, huh? And, like, you have so many laws that, like you have to, like, have a guy drive you around, and you have to have, like, a towel over your head when you walk around. You know what I mean? That's so unfair, isn't it? God, it must be so hard to just not have a job and stay at home. Darn it. Because you're a woman. Because you're a woman.
I never got picked on in school or anything for my size or being gay or anything because my sister's boyfriend was the quarterback. And this one time...
Maybe, this is an unpopular opinion, maybe. I think, personally, nobody should pick on you because you're gay. Because I don't think that your sexual preference should necessarily be public information. You know what I mean? Like... You get what I mean? What I'm trying to say here? Like, if I have a Yu-Gi-Oh card collection, that's maybe not something I open up a conversation with a random person. Maybe I get to talk to someone for a little bit, and then when we have a basic understanding of each other, then they can know a little bit more about me. That's not something that you lead with. That shouldn't be what you build your entire personality off of. Your sexual preference shouldn't be... Your sexual romantic preference shouldn't be what you build your entire personality off of, I don't think. Like, I don't open up a conversation with what, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it shouldn't, I don't think, be public information. It's your personal information. And when you put something out there publicly, people are allowed to poke fun. That's especially with this whole cyberbullying, online bullying thing. If you're going to be an online persona and you're going to put information out there for the world to see, especially to make money off of, you open yourself up to criticism. You are in the public eye. You forfeit your expectation of privacy because you are now a famous person. Especially you forfeit your expectation of privacy to the information that you publicly put out there. That doesn't mean someone gets to video camera into your window if you don't consent, but you forfeit your expectation of privacy by putting this all out there. Don't you know how hard their lives are? That's why they needed a vacation. What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. That's the problem. What's up? The name's Daryl from CVS. Their lives are so tough, dude. I kind of forgot Beckles is a woman. Kind of hard to keep your sexual preferences on the DL if you're in a public relationship. No, that's fair. That's fair. Kind of hard to keep your sexual preferences on the DL if you're in a public relationship. I think, no, that's fair. Why are you still here at Desby? Is Amberlynn really here? That can't be true, right? Amberlynn, if you're here, just, like, I'm not going to make fun of you if you just use, like, a real account. If that is what's going on. Or even if you don't have to sign out and sign in. If you just type in, am I not in my good chat? If I like, what do I do now? Get out of here. Get out of my screen. I clicked like a settings button and now it's annoying me really bad. Okay, if Amberlynn, if you are watching this, I don't think you are, but on the off chance that you are, I'm not gonna make fun of you, you know. And I don't think people that are in here should, if this SB person is her or whatever. I like, let's chat, you know. That's all I want. That's all I want. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Interesting. That's fine. I will give you the full benefit of the doubt. I really will. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like harass what you say in your chat. I am totally open to have a real conversation about it. We have rats behind, who other folks are. Amber, we're not obsessed with you, honey. We do streams on her own name more than once. That's fine. I don't think that there's anything wrong with her coming in here. Even if she wants to use a alias, I think it's okay if she comes in here with an alias if she doesn't want to be recognized. Like, I would, you know what I mean? I guess I don't really care, but if I cared, I wouldn't feel weird about using an alias because on the internet, that's what it's for. It's for anonymity. I just haven't seen her, I haven't seen Des B in here. I see you guys putting it in here, but I don't see her. Loves you so much. Hey, thanks, B Lamb Coon. B Lamb Coon. Coon. I hope I said that right. I loves you too. Loves ya. Loves ya, schnookums. She's scared to do that. There's nothing to be scared of. AYV. Damon White. Pretending to be gay man. Black man. Infiltrate ALR chat group. She's outed with proof. Am I a proud boy? Am I a Gavin McInnes proud boy that beats up Antifa people? Never heard of the group. No, I'm not a proud boy. I love that wink, Gulf Coast Granny, huh? I appreciate it. If she admitted she's here, it would be harder for her to lie about not watching reaction channels later. Well, I don't think like if she says she doesn't watch reaction channels, I think that that doesn't necessarily mean that she doesn't like catch a clip here or there or watches one here or there. I think what she means is like she's not watching them, like a lot of them. You know what I mean? Like it's not making up a big part of her video diet. That's abusive language, Desby. Why can't I see what she's putting there? Where are you guys? Are you guys she's in this chat? Really? Like Desby. Oh, here. You think anyone who's defending Amberlynn is Amberlynn pathetic losers. Why did we think that she's Desby? Was that like a Twitter thing that someone put out there? If that is you, Amberlynn, just say I don't care. I don't care. Why? Like I don't understand the reason to hide. We're all adults. We can all like have the discourse. It just seems odd. Like if that is Amberlynn, and they throw what's this? Making fun of people with mental illness is bullying. Well, I haven't seen any medical records or anything like that point to anyone having any sort of mental illness, and I'm not gonna self-diagnose anybody because I think that that's unfair. So, yeah, I think bold claims require bold evidence, and if you're going to accuse someone of bullying, the onus of proof is on you. So you have to lay out your proof as to what bullying is, and yeah, we better talk about it. Now, that being said, like I said, I think that as soon as you enter into the public sphere, as soon as you put public information out there, then what you do is public knowledge. And the burden of proof is going to be quite a bit higher for bullying. And if you're going to start accusing people of bullying, then I think that, like, if that is Amberlynn, I think that that is a surefire way to burn bridges and to damage any sort of cooperation or like friendship she could have, because when you start labeling or throwing around words like that, bullying, words that especially that can destroy people's careers or people's like could destroy what people have, when you start doing things like that, when you by calling them things that can't be proven and are feel good words to call somebody that are meant to tear people down, then all you have to do is look at the French Revolution, and the very people that were guillotining people in the French Revolution are the exact same people that met the same fate, and you're gonna hit the exact same thing. If that's the standard you're gonna throw out there, if that is what bullying is, then everything is bullying, and if people get reported, then they're going to report you back, and everyone is going to be the worse off for it. So can we please be adults on the internet? You know, that's my only request. Can we just respect each other enough to understand that when someone calls you a loser on the internet, maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe that you shouldn't get upset about it because there's a billion people on YouTube, you know? And maybe if one out of that billion calls you a loser, it doesn't mean anything. God, that frustrates the heck out of me.
Someone trying to pick on me. He told him if he ever talked to me again, he would rip his head off his shoulders. So, and
an ALR gaming channel? I'd watch that.
I'm just privileged with my family because I have such a big family and they're all very protective. So.
Oh, someone did a super and I didn't say nothing. Thank you, Kayla Bobela. Kayla Bobela. That's a sick name, dude. I like when stuff rhymes. It's like Hannah Banana. Kayla, Bobela, Fofela, Kayla.
I guess I'm privileged with that. That I still even have a family after all I've went through. I'll
give you that. It is awesome to have a family as like a support system around you no matter what. That's a good point.
Because at one point I did lose everyone except for my sister.
What's this?
And then now I have, my grandparents.
Super chat just for the French Revolution reference. Well, I mean, when you look at people that are, you shouldn't throw rocks when you live in glass houses. And the best example, if you guys were ever curious about what the negatives are to giving people power to accuse each other, are just look at the French Revolution. Just look at watch like a 10-minute synopsis on Robespierre in the French Revolution. Because what happens is the revolutionaries, they take control of the government, and anyone who's anti-revolution goes to the guillotine, and that's where they cut their head off. And while they were in charge, anyone who was accused of it would get their head cut off, and thousands of people got their heads cut off this way. And the guy in charge was Robespierre. And it's called the Reign of Terror for a reason. And it's because people were so afraid of being accused and meeting the same fate that they were there. But then the end of the French Revolution happens when Robespierre himself becomes an anti-revolutionary. And that's my whole point, is when you can't give people that kind of power, because inevitably it'll switch hands. You have to ask yourself, if I'm going to give someone this really powerful power, am I okay with someone really evil having this exact same power? And if you're not, then maybe they shouldn't have that power.
Which I have only one grandparent now.
Uh-huh.
You know, my family.
Family?
I feel like this one's really for you.
Oh, you don't even know
This
what
is
it
fun. I like these
What is
cards.
the oldest
I feel like I'm there
item
with
in
them.
your possession? I think I know the answer to this.
What is it?
The oldest item in my possession? Like, an
What is
item
the
I
oldest
have.
item
I have
in
the
my
longest?
possession? I have to really
You
think.
answer and then I'll answer what I thought it was.
Okay.
You know what? I bet you I have stuff that's
everything
about...
that I have versus everything I've gotten rid of.
I think that the oldest possession I have is probably about 15 years or so. She's not racist because she would stand up for Rosa Parks.
What's funny?
you
That
guys.
was my thinking face. I'm closing
Amber
my
is not
eyes and
racist
I'm-
because she
I'm
would stand
literally
up for
going
Rosa
through
Parks, you
everything I own,
guys.
Your lip was quivering.
No, it was not.
No.
The bra. What is this? That was awesome.
No. Dear God, please give me the
Well, these
answer.
goofballs.
Can I answer?
You're gonna have to answer for me.
You're gonna have to.
Okay,
There's
you
no other
told
choice.
me that you had like an eyeshadow palette or something that you still had from high school.
my glitter eye stuff.
Oh my
I've
god!
had that since I was freaking 16 years
She was
old.
16 years
Is that
old.
Still okay to put on your face.
Yeah, and it doesn't do anything.
Oh my
Okay. It's made of
It's made of
god.
magic.
It's
I'm
made of
gonna ask you
magic.
one last question, and that is the end
What
of
is it?
So let's
I
get
want
to the
better
juicy
questions.
One, hopefully.
I want fun ones.
If you could witness one key moment in history, what would you choose?
Oh, man, that is maybe one of the best questions ever, dude. I want to hear what they have to say.
Oh boy. Okay, I have two.
Ooh,
I would really like to see Stonewall.
okay.
Stonewall Jackson or like Stonehenge? Is that what she's talking about? Stonewall?
And I would really like to see the fall of the Berlin Wall, which I'm pretty sure happened the year I was born.
Yeah, that could be cool.
So, why do you
Kind of a
wanna
weird
choose those things?
Thing to
Stonewall
choose
is
because there's
like a
better
huge
things, right?
moment in gay history.
It's a
Yes.
huge moment in,
Or,
today's history.
Harvey Milk speech.
The moment the Soviet Union lost is the moment they had to build a wall to keep their people in. That's one of my favorite sayings.
Okay. But then definitely the Berlin Wall, because that wall was up
Destiny's
in West
bitch.
Berlin and East Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
Those people couldn't have contact with each other.
It's messed up. Yeah, when countries hold their own people in, it's really messed up, isn't it? You should be allowed to emigrate from your country. You should be allowed to leave your country. If you have to keep your people in, if your country is such a mess that you have to keep people in, you have to force them through threat of violence to keep them in, you're a failed state. You're not a good country.
Years, and like whenever that thing came down, there was families that got to finally see each other and hold each other. And it was just
Why is that
so
making me emotional?
I know.
It's a big deal, man, because also economic freedom from the west to the east allowed everyone else to catch up from through tens of years. They caught up at tens of years of economic and just backwards, through their entire system was so backwards because it was all government run. And when they opened it up to the west, it just goes to show the night and day difference between the two systems and why one was infinitely better. People can complain about America and about capitalism and Western democracies all they want, but these countries, America has never had to build a wall to keep its people in. Okay, and for that reason, I think that I'll go with America.
No.
I'm trying to get teary-eyed for some reason.
Yeah, I think if I had to choose two, I would either choose maybe it would be the signing of the Declaration. No, I would want to see is it King George, the King of England, when he gets the Declaration of Independence. I would like to see that. Homophobic bullies. Whatever. I'm afraid of gay people. Did you know that? I'm homophobic. When I see gay people, I get really scared. I hide, you know? I go, hee, like they're a spider or like they're a snake or something. Like there's some sort of like weird shadow following me around. That's what I think of gay people. I think they're homophobic. Yeah. I don't even, yeah, uh-huh. Give me a break. What a joke. It's such a homophobic bullies. What an absolutely just asinine thing to say, isn't it? If that... Can you grow up? Let's come to the real world, okay? It's not 50 years ago. Oh, Freddie Mercury at Live Aid? Okay. We need to build a wall to keep people out. Enough said, huh? But yeah, I would want to see the King of England receive the Declaration of Independence just to see what his reaction is. And otherwise, I would want to see, after the war, I would want to see, I think it's John Adams, being received by the King of England, because after the war ended, for a while England still didn't recognize America as a country, and then I think it was John Adams who went as our first major delegate, and you just like picture the scene, right? It's the King of England who just got, you know, in charge of the most powerful empire in the world, just got defeated by one of their own colonies, and they're really embarrassed about it. And now there's a representative. It's the first time that one of these representatives from the colonies is going to meet with the King of England. So it's like imagine how the tension that was there. The guy walks in, and it's really important for the Americans because the Americans really want to be recognized by the British because the British trade empire is so huge, and they want access to British goods. They just don't want to fight them anymore. Mm-hmm. The Berlin Wall.
But
that was awesome. That was a good laugh,
very
dude.
Emotional.
Because that's so
history, and you know it was beautiful.
probs.
So
Not talking about
that's my
Germany.
answer. Okay.
Look up Stonewall. Not talking about Germany.
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed
The shuttle launch and moon landing. Aliens landed in Roswell.
interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see that to
this
see what
one was
actually happened.
A lot more deeper than the last one we did, I feel like.
Yeah.
How long is the
I
stream
think so.
planning to go on? The stream will go on for maybe another 20 minutes or so. It'll go on till 9 if people really want it to keep going. What is it? Stonewall? Is this it? Oh, okay. I just didn't know about this. The Stonewall riots. I feel like this isn't something that's in like a textbook. Stonewall riots were a series of spontaneous, violent demonstrations by members of the gay community against a police raid that began in the early morning hours of June 28, 1969 at the Stonewall Inn in the Greenwich Village neighborhood of Manhattan, New York City. Is that right? It's like, were they being oppressed by police or something? Interesting. No, I suppose that makes sense. It's like the 60s. It's a pretty turbulent time. That's with all the civil rights stuff and everything. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. Huh. Stonewall Jackson, right? Who was he? He was like a Civil War general guy? I was like, what? I knew that she wasn't talking about him. I thought maybe she was talking about Stonehenge. I don't know. I thought maybe she's got some stuff mixed up. All right, let's see. I want to see Elon Musk do ASMR. This stream needs to last forever. Stocky14 Bree sending you love and praise for healing. Mad respect for not just accepting it and whining. Keep fighting the good fight, my friend. Prayers for healing and mad respect. Awesome. Love this history talk tonight. The Revolutionary War is fascinating. I'm a journalist. All the rhetoric and documents that came from it, so fascinating. Ali B, that's a really good point. The American Revolutionary War is super interesting, and it's mainly because a lot of people get bored from it. But the fascinating thing about the American Revolutionary War that other countries don't have, something that really sets America apart and the American Revolution apart from other revolutions, is that the American Revolutionary War was really one of the rare instances where you can see the creation of a government. And we have so many documents about the creation of a government, because all a government really is a set of rules that we all agree to live by. And the American system arguably is one of the most successful in the world, at least like up to this point, you know, like going forward with what it was. It created one of the most powerful countries in the world. And there's a lot to be said that a lot of a country's success is dependent on its system. A lot of people will say that the rule of law is what made Rome so contendable, because it provides stability for the country. And when you have stability at home, then you can look abroad, and that's what allows you to expand. You know, you can't expand as a country if you're always infighting, and that's something that good systems fix. In America, you can see them fix that system from the get-go, and there are so many great quotes. There's so many great documents that are from there. The Articles of Confederation are great. The Federalist Papers, the Declaration of Independence is the first line, right, of the Declaration of Independence is such a powerful line. Man, I don't want to misquote it. I really don't. But what is it? What is it? You know what it is. You've heard it for sure. All men being created equally. It's that whole thing. It's when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the clauses which impel them to separation. Okay, that's like the preamble to it. That's a pretty important one, but this is the main one, right? It's, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it just basically goes on to say that in order to secure these rights, it says we have a right to our life, liberty, property, pursuit of happiness. Because England is stepping on these rights, it is within our rights to abolish the government. I'm a big Thomas Jefferson fan, more with his rhetoric and with his writing, because he'll write things like all the founding fathers will write things like when governments start, trampling on your rights, it becomes the duty of the people to rein in the government. Things like that are really interesting, that really contrast with authoritarian governments around the world. I'm a big anti-authoritarian kind of a thing. Let's see. Oh no, I jumped. It threw me down. What state do you live in? We have the same time zone. I live in Wisconsin. I'm not saying she never flaunts it. Most of the time, it's just part of her life. I'd love to see how Amberlynn will do the world of Attack on Titans. I like Attack on Titans. The opening to Attack on Titans has the best music ever, right? The Chat Army shall rise. Thank you. There's days I want to be a victim. It'd be so much easier, but nothing beats hitting an accomplishment. I was able to take my boy stuff fair this weekend. There you go. That's fine. I adore your videos and streams. Oh, of course. People want it to keep going. Becky and Amber are supposed to be on vacation, and this is what they're doing. WTF, staying in a hotel room vlogging. Yay, sounds like loads of fun. I'll give them a pass on that, because sometimes you have downtime in a hotel room, and what did it take for them to do a 15-minute video where they just uploaded them doing fun cars, and she made money off it, so really was it that bad? Glad you looked it up and corrected yourself. You're welcome. Of course. Yeah, gotta keep me honest. That's what you guys are here for. Went to Boston a couple weeks ago. So much history. I would love to go. I've never been to the East Coast. I always have wanted to go. Pennsylvania and Boston. I'm loving the stream, huh? Who are you looking at for 2020? That's a good question. There's nobody that I'm particularly super interested in. I'm trying to think of who would even be my favorite, and it's really tricky. I just saw this one. Who is the guy? He just had a thing. I just looked him up too. He was a representative from. Oh man, where is he from? He's an older guy. Presidential runners. He's like under 1%. He just released this thing that I saw, where he wants a. Come on, just show me. Just don't give me half of a list here, internet. He has this new thing that's like a mandatory work program where it's like a draft basically, but instead of joining the military, you have an option to join the military or to be forced into volunteer projects to help make the country better. And that super sends up a red flag for me. I really don't like that. In exchange, you'd get paid for education and stuff like that, I guess is what their plan is, but it's forced. That's my whole issue with it. Oh my god, the Denver Post, what a joke. What an annoying website. So many pop-ups. Gross. How about you just give me a list, internet, huh? How about you just give me one list of the Democratic people that are running? That's all I want. It seems like that would be a pretty straightforward thing to give me, huh? But no, Google, you gotta give me this roundabout thing. Whatever. I can't find the guy's name. He used to be a representative. I'm sorry, I'm trying. It's just, man. Oh. To Amber, come back. Bow, 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 bow. You can blame it all on Reed. I'm Reed, by the way, in case you guys didn't know. I just found this channel and I'm pleased. The American Revolution is fasting. Lots of awesome sites where I lived in Virginia. Virginia is cool too. I'd love to visit there. Kayla, thank you. I'm a smack a 2. This B, again, abusive language. Oh, is that right? Boring nerd is probably a virgin. You know what? I'm not probably a virgin. I am a virgin. But do you know how many girls I've kissed? Tons. And you know what? I'm proud of being a virgin because you can't have sex until you're married. Checkmate, atheists. Boring nerd is probably a virgin. You know what's funny about that? I think I talked about it last stream. There's a couple words where if you call someone that unironically, the joke isn't on them, the joke is on you. And there was 3 words that I gave, and it was virgin, nerd, and skank. If you unironically call someone one of those 3 words, you are the idiot. You are the lame one. If it's not a joke and you're trying to be mean and you call someone a nerd, what a joke, right? There's nothing you can do. If you get called a nerd unironically, you almost have to just be like, what? Or could you imagine? They're like, virgin. That's what me and my friends call each other to get laughs. We call people virgins. That's how lame of an insult that is. That's like calling each other goons or goofballs. That's what that is. That's like, those insults have fallen so out. God, that kind of made me laugh. Boring nerd is probably a virgin. Hey, quit cyberbullying. Quit cyberbullying, Desby. You're going to get reported. God. Oh my God. That is so stupid. Desby clapback. Finally caught alive. Hi from New Zealand. Well, hello, Rachel. Habraken. Oh man, what a joke. Don't fall for her traps. What are her traps, do you think? You haven't gotten fucked in years. I'm assuming you're jealous or what? Whoa. What's the shame in being a virgin or a nerd for that matter? Yeah, that's the joke, right? There's such old insults. It's like calling someone a dandy. Oh, you common dandy. You dandies better not quit messing with my car, with my automobile. All right. You want to join us in this century, or you having fun back there calling people nerds and virgins? God, man. That is so stupid. All right, I don't think he identifies as Democrat or Republican, but IDK. If volunteering was mandatory, it wouldn't be volunteering. Right, that's what I did one of these. An Amberlynn dating simulator, huh? You know what, you guys? Amber works hard every day, but Desby works harder for absolutely no shekels. Is that like a Jew joke? Little orange chicken fan. Oh, what a joke. Ooh, I got a sneeze going on. Got him! Oh, man, I'm going to sneeze, but I don't want to go on like mid-tangent and sneeze. Whoever un-Fs the healthcare system has my vote. Yeah, the healthcare system really is gross, huh? In my opinion, I think you can thank FDR for screwing it up in the beginning. I think he is one of the most overrated presidents ever. V-card, sadly, for life. Sorry, dude. Well, hey, kids. Being a virgin is actually really cool. And you know what else is cool? God. Right? God, man. I'm Canadian, and I stopped keeping up with American politics because I'm rather sick of seeing it all. But I just want to say to my fellow Canadians, vote NPC next term, my guys. Right? Yeah, I agree. I really do like politics, and I really like to follow it, but it's hard, man, with what we have going on right now. The news cycle's too fast. It's just annoying. You just get laughed at. I think it's awesome that you're a virgin. Good for you. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Ben Shapiro's a virgin. I was just joking about that. I was just making a joke about not being able. Like, well, you know how, like, your body, you can't, like, it's impossible for your body to physically have sex until you're married. Like, you don't really develop that part of your body until you're married. That's what I was getting at. Gotta get ready for work. I enjoyed your live video. Looking forward to tomorrow. Good night, chat. Hey, have a good night, Admiral. I appreciate it. What's a dandy? I don't know. A goofball, I think, is a good... I think goofball and dandy are pretty interchangeable. Dandy's just like a 50s way of saying it. Amberlynn is using the victim card just to gain sympathy from impressionable fans. Don't call for her schemes. Don't fall for her schemes. Yeah, I'll agree. I think that is really what she has going on there. And it is really frustrating that you see people like that. Yeah, man, it is kind of sad that is the way she's going about it. And I think there is, well, I've talked about it in other videos, a cycle that she goes through where about how she keeps fans or keeps continuously drawing attention. And what it is go for weight loss, fail weight loss, get sympathy, start new weight loss, fail weight loss, get sympathy, start new weight loss, fail weight loss, get sympathy. Around and around we go, right? That seems to be exactly what it is. Thank you, Coco Carry On 007. 007. There's a lot going on in that username. I really do appreciate it, though. That's a generous donation. That was awesome of you. Awesome. Thank you. Love your channel. Is that like monkey eyes? What is that? Oh, that's a bee. I'm a bee. Do you know what my favorite emoji is? You'll know if you follow me on Twitter, which all of you guys should follow me on Twitter. It's my Twitter's the same name to it though. Same name. It's Yestervark with a 1 on the end because some other guy has Yestervark, but you'll find it. It's got my same icon and everything. I also have an Instagram. You should follow me. I'm trying to get 1,000 people on each. I think I have like 750 on my Instagram, and on my Twitter, I don't know how many I have. I can look. Hey, Michael B. Petty tweeted something. He tweeted, "Treated differently because of how big I am." Man, that dude, his Twitter, I think, is one of the funniest Twitters ever. We're all getting doxxed. Thanks a lot. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. Where's my profile? How many people do follow me? I have 577 followers on Twitter, and I think I have like 750 on Instagram. We need to get to 1,000. But my favorite Instagram, I use it all the time on Twitter, is like the 2 people salsa dancing. I love that. Her traps are blocked with cheese and her proud rocks. Dandy is a homosexual. Is that right? A dandy was a homosexual? Isn't it like words change, right? In the same way that the F word for homosexuals used to mean like cigarette, right? It's kind of like maybe that's a similar. I don't know. Like I feel like I've seen people called dandies, and it was more of like a maybe it's like a not a man, goofy. I guess I can see that. You dandies better get off my yard. Virginity isn't really that big of a deal, other than to people who are very insecure about their own sex lives. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Twinkie needs saved. Where can I see his responses to... my response to... All I really did was make fun of how she called me a virgin. If that is Amberlynn, I don't know. Spee, you're not kind of making fun. Let's see. I bet he was a fat kid. I don't think I was. I definitely got fatter later in life. You know what's funny about making fun of people on the internet is if... When, like, so Des B says, I bet he was a fat kid. If I was going to sit here and boo-hoo and cry because someone called me a fat kid, which these insults are such kid glove insults. If you insulted me and I was really hurt by it, why would I show you that I was hurt by it? Because then wouldn't you win, right? Isn't that the goal? Aren't you saying mean things to try to hurt me? And if I show you that I'm hurt, wouldn't that hurt me? And if other people want to hurt me, wouldn't they now see the way to do that? You know, kind of like Amberlynn does in her videos, where she'll make a video about the things people say about her and how it bothers her. But then you're literally giving a blueprint to people about how to hurt you, because that's what they're trying to do. You know, that's maybe what's going on there. So I don't know. The best thing you can do is just roll with it. Fine, I was a fat kid. What if I was? What if I was a 400-pound 10-year-old? Do I look 400 pounds now? No? Well, someone else does. Oops. I'm just here for you. Love the sound of your voice. I got married at 17. Well, there you go. Can confirm my vagina didn't pop up until I got married. That's right. You know the rules. Bully, sick burn. Oh my god. Stop bullying. Bullying is wrong. Hey friend, did you know that every year over 100 kids get bullied? You guys ever seen that South Park episode? That's exactly what it's like. That's why like people who are anti-bullying usually are like kind of bullies about it. Well, that's why it's so dumb to call someone a bully, because if you're going to call someone a bully in a way, you're attacking them, you're going after them, and then they can just say you're being a bully, right? It's such a silly thing. Yeah, don't make fun of her, but she make fun of others. Yo, trolls, he gut. If that is Amber, it's really funny because homegirl definitely ain't getting any. It's SP. I got a lot of body issues, dysphoria, extreme depression, and that's what I got past, and I'm a lot happier. I'm far more mobile and interactive than before. I think so, and a lot of it too is just like it's positivity, and being happy is a huge part. If you're a fat kid, you're not fat now. You know what? If I can be honest, I wasn't really a fat kid. My brother was though, and then he really thinned out. Do you really want to hurt him? Thanks, Elizabeth. Do you really want to make him cry? Who sings that? That's Culture Club? They're good, huh? Karma Chameleon, right? It's the same singer. He's kind of a goofy guy, right? Is that George Michael? Or am I off there? Burn! What in tarnation are you still doing here? Oh my god, man. Bernie's a socialist. Socialism is bad. Oh man. People dying due to not being able to afford insulin is also bad. Agreed, but that doesn't mean that's like, so they're like socialism is bad. People not being able to afford insulin is bad. That's like a false equivalency, right? There's a big issue, I think, with false equivalency in saying that, because a big issue with American healthcare systems is how intertwined they are with employment and insurance. That's the big issue, right? So my understanding of it, and this is where things got weird, during the World War II, I could be wrong here, okay? So just understand, I'm speaking from stuff I kind of read about a long time ago. But this is my understanding of it. The American healthcare system, why I think it's so broken. In World War II, and during the Great Depression, World War II, the government really thought it was a good idea to put in price controls. And when you're fighting a war, you need to have everybody working for jobs where they're making tanks and planes and bullets, right? Now, if there's a war going on and it's important to make tanks, planes, and bullets, and you start up a company that makes like checkers, right? You make checkers pieces, or you make chips, whatever, for anything. You're not helping the war effort. So what the government says is you are not allowed to overbid for jobs. You see, like, they basically put a cap on it. They say you can't pay more than like $2 an hour, let's say, because they don't want people poaching from the war industry, and they don't want tanks and guns and planes to be super expensive because of how much they have to pay. You know what I mean? They don't want the country competing with itself, and the whole country should be focused on the war. So they passed a bunch of laws that put in price ceilings for stuff like that. Well, in response, companies that were looking for more employment would start giving benefits, and they would say, okay, we can't pay you more, but we can pay for your health insurance. And that became a staple of the American economy. And as labor becomes worth less and less as we import things from different countries, it becomes less and less profitable to give people these benefits. But the problem is with insurance, the more people that are paying into the system, the cheaper it is for everybody. And usually businesses can buy huge collective rates, and businesses have more money to pay for insurance. Now, what happens is because labor isn't worth as much, people's wages aren't growing as fast. But on top of that, businesses are trying to save money. And so they start hiring more part-time people or full-time jobs that don't give you benefits. And because of that, a whole bunch of people were forced out of the insurance market. And when people are out of the insurance market, it's more expensive for everybody else. So now as an individual, you have to compete with, you have to come into the insurance market, but you are expected to pay a similar rate to Walmart's rate, right? You have to compete with Walmart to buy insurance because that's just the price that's there. So our system is really out of whack with what things should cost. And part of the issue too is that throughout the time while we had that system, hospitals were overcharging insurance companies because they could get away with it. Because as a business, if you're Walmart, if you pay a huge group rate, you don't have time to nitpick little things. If a hospital charges you an extra $5 here and $10 here, you don't have time to look at that for every single person. So hospitals were doing that because if they don't, they're just leaving money on the table. Well, over time, as they do that, insurance rates get more and more expensive. Well, now hospital costs are way through the roof artificially. Over time, they've risen because they've been able to get that from the insurance companies. But now everything has kind of come full circle, and the market has received the signal that hospital costs are too expensive, which makes insurance costs too expensive, which makes it expensive for the consumer. And that's why I think it's so expensive for health insurance and healthcare in particular, especially when you don't have insurance. That's why things are like so crazy expensive, because they know that they can get away with things being expensive if it goes to the insurance company. They know that if they can charge you $20,000 for a 3-day stay because the insurance company will pay it, you know? So if they don't, they're almost stupid for not getting all that extra money. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think the biggest issue is we're putting a Band-Aid, and a really bad Band-Aid, on the problem if the government just comes in and starts paying for everybody's health care, because that doesn't fix the problem. And the problem is that hospitals are charging too much. But you also can't go into hospitals and force them to just cut costs because they're used to how much money they make. It's really a gross thing. Yeah, learn about socialism. Eating rats is worse. Everyone can get insulin. If you don't believe me, believe Bernie. call welfare for help, you will get insulin. Just imagine using her. Well, that's another thing too, is you can get medical coverage. You just get stuck with a lot of debt. Let's see. Where were we? The box of hammers, huh? Boy George, that's what I was thinking of. Andrew Yang, huh? He's a pretty popular guy. His whole thing is the freedom dividend. It's an interesting idea. It's especially interesting because it's really the only modern solution to combat labor costs falling, but who knows how long until labor costs fall enough to make that make sense, right? Cheeto dust on her fingers, Shelby. That's funny. Kelly Jones, thank you so much. That's awesome. I appreciate it. In one of my college history classes, we were talking about if America wasn't always in some kind of war, so many people would lose their jobs, and we would have another crisis on our hands. Yeah, maybe, but then you also have to ask yourself, that's assuming all other things are equal, right? That's like the argument that FDR brought us out of the Great Depression. And that's kind of the weird one too, because the real answer, right, is he didn't. World War II kind of did, but then it's also weird to say that because World War II resulted in so many people dead and so much destroyed wealth that if that's what it took to get out of the Depression, was it really a good thing, you know? And I think no. I'm one of the people who thinks that FDR didn't help us during the Great Depression, and I think if you really look at it fair, you have to. A lot of people who think that FDR did great. Well, first off, know this. The Great Depression started, 29 was the big crash, and it didn't really end until 1941 or 42. So that's over 10 years of Great Depression, and the economy was just flatlining this whole time. And FDR gets so much credit for, like, the Great New Deal, or the New Deal and all that stuff that he did, but every time he put those programs in, the economy stayed flatlined. It wasn't until World War II that we really came out of it. And I think he gets a weird amount of credit for that, especially when he tried to pack the courts. I think he was one of our most tyrannical presidents. And especially with him, I remember one time I was talking to someone about that, and they said, yeah, well, you have to think about how much worse the country would have been if he wouldn't have passed those deals. But the response to that is, we don't know. It's unfair of you to say, well, this is what it would have been if he wouldn't have done that, because nobody knows. All we do know is what we can see, and what we see is a president residing over the worst economic growth of history, an entire economy that flatlined the entire time until we got dragged into a war that killed millions of people across the world and destroyed billions of dollars worth of stuff. And he's some sort of hero, you know? Seized all of America's gold, too. American gold. Man, I'm not a fan. Let's see. Where was I? Ystavak for president. Yep. Rise up, Chad Army. Ystavak 2020. YV, me when someone asks about Real Housewives. I've never really watched it. Chad, we ask, though. That's fair. That's fair. Sometimes it's fun just to rant. This is why we have the NHS in the UK. Yeah, it's messed up how less than a century later women are ashamed for having even a little bit of hair. Shame for having a little bit. I don't want to know what you guys are talking about. Who started this? Amber's creeping around. She's lurking. Is this how she's spending her vacation? She's all mad now because she realizes that other people aren't obsessed about her and that we have other things to talk about. Our whole world doesn't revolve around her. Is that what she's figuring out? Amberlynn, you goofball. I had DTV in the UK and didn't go make it from it. DVT. No one wants to be a doctor anymore because they all get sued for malpractice. They make good money, though. I'm back. What did I miss? My pregnant butt had to get ice cream. Nice. What kind? Will you do a vid on Onion Boy and his sick slander? I'll definitely look into it. I love videos on Onision. He's my favorite guy to make videos on. Yeah, the little thing. You're obsessed. Onision is the guy, if anything, I'm obsessed about. I love him and his vegetarian body. But I got sterilized with no pushback in the U.S. The U.S. does have its benefits. Probably wouldn't have been able to do that in the U.K. I want $1,000 a month. Hashtag Yang Gang. Me too. I just hope that it's doable. Hunter B, dude, thanks. Will I do a video on Onision 6 slander? Yeah, probably. Probably. She's probably binge watching the last stream instead. I vote for Becky as Naruto. I could see her running cool like that. Could do the Naruto run. It's not a lot of debt by getting insulin through welfare. It's free. I know people in that situation, so I'm just guessing. Yeah, I'm not sure specifically. I've never had to get insulin. If I had $1,000 a month, I wouldn't be struggling to pay for my classes. Yeah, but that's a tricky one too, because you can't assume that all things would stay the same, right? Because If everyone just starts getting $1,000 more a month, then every business, every school, every hospital that doesn't automatically start raising their prices is dumb to not do that, because they're leaving money on the table, you know? Because everyone else will. The economy will react. That's what people... There's an F.A. Hyatt quote that is one of my favorite quotes, and he says, "The curious task of economics is to demonstrate to man how little they know about what they imagine they can design." And what he means by that is, we think we can control the economy, but there are so many moving pieces in an economy, because an economy is just people trading. It's me and you talking and giving each other money and doing jobs for each other and buying things. There's so many moving pieces that when you try to control one thing, it's like 5 holes, right? And you try to plug one hole with your thumb, and then all of a sudden another hole opens up. So you're like, oh, so you put another thumb up, and then another hole pops up. You just can't. There's just the economy. The economy's gonna do what it's gonna do. You can try to hold the pressure back, but it's just gonna make it worse in a different area, and that's really what it comes down to. And that is why I am not for government control of the economy, because they tend to be really bad at that. You look like a clean-cut young Seth Rogen. I haven't heard that one in a long time, you goofball. Oh, man. Who's Onion Boy? Onion Boy is Onision. If you're not sure who Onision is, just type in "I'm a banana." It's that guy. I'm a banana. Look at me move, right? Onion Lad is a tumor to the platform that needs to die off. Yeah, but where would I get my fun then, you know? Sometimes you have to watch people that are train wrecks, because that's how it goes. Exactly. Prices would go up. If we get more money, prices will go up to reflect it. All money is a reflection of resources. And if you change the amount of money that's in the world, it doesn't like if you give everyone $1,000 more, it doesn't automatically mean that there's more resources around. So money just reflects what resources are worth. So if there's just more money, then it doesn't, like, things are going to cost more, because it still balances out to be about the same. I just showered. Did he say if he likes Bernie or not? LMAO, just curious. I do not like Bernie Sanders. That's my Bernie Sanders impression. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm ready to quit my day job and go to Hollywood and try to be a comedian? I do impressions. Oh no, I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan. Ooh, baby, I love the way. Let's see. In Ohio, we just had a huge thing happen where at a hospital, a doctor and multiple nurses were arrested for killing off patients who came into their care with lethal amounts of drugs. So no stimulus check. Oh, marry me. Sorry, late responses to the doctor malpractice. My solution would be mandatory profit sharing, close the gap between CEOs and cashiers. I actually do take offense to that. A Mojo Jojo. I don't know if I can do a Mojo Jojo impression. But the gap between CEOs and cashiers, I don't think I'm in the camp of wealth inequality isn't as big an issue as people make it out to be. Especially, and what's a big thing too? They're like, do you really think like the CEO makes 1,000 times more than a cashier? Do you really think the CEO is worth 1,000 times more? Or do you think that they work 1,000 times harder? And the response is no, they might not work 1,000 times harder, but arguably they might add 1,000 times more value. Like a really good CEO that takes a company on a good direction and who has a good public face can make a company worth billions more than it isn't worth. Look at a guy like Steve Jobs, you know what I mean? In charge of Apple, or like Bill Gates and all these guys, like real charismatic people that are able to do things. And think about if you look at Amazon, Jeff Bezos' leadership strategy and his philosophy on business has taken Amazon, which hasn't really made a profit until like 2015 or so, and has made it into one of the world's first $1 trillion companies. And to think that that man shouldn't be worth a lot of money or paid more, 1,000 times more than a cashier, he essentially created billions of dollars of wealth for himself and his shareholders. And what has the cashier created? You know what I mean? Maybe like $3 an hour worth of wealth, maybe $10 an hour worth of wealth, whereas Bezos is making $100 million an hour worth of wealth. You know what I mean? That, I think, is the big discrepancy, and it's really hard to say what people are worth. The real answer is people are worth what they're willing to work for. And if a cashier wants more money to bridge the gap, then they need to ask for more money. And if the job isn't worth that much money, then the company's not at fault for saying no. If the company doesn't want to pay $25 to have someone ring stuff out, I don't think the company's bad for doing that. The big issue is that with automation and with regulation, automation, and unionization, labor costs are going up. And when labor costs go up, companies will hire less and they will pay less. So it's just the way it is. Oh, okay. Didn't know socialism was bad. My apologies. Oh, you goofball. Anything's fine. What is Bernie's voice? I don't know. He just say, "Hey guys, it's Bernie Bernard Sanders." That's my best guess, right? "Hey guys, here with another vlog." I don't know. Right, Steve Jobs, man, kind of a dick, right? Running his company, but obviously a very successful guy. Are you gonna watch the next debate? Yes. I think it's a problem that Walmart can get away with allowing the government to supplement their employees, though. There's no reason why a company like Walmart can't pay their employees a living wage. Right, no, I 100% agree. That's why the government shouldn't supplement it, because then it would force Walmart to raise their wages. That's the problem. The problem isn't Walmart. Walmart is going to do what it has to do to maximize money for its shareholders. It's called fiduciary responsibility. If the CEO of Walmart knows that they can make more money by doing a certain thing, or they can cut costs by paying people less because the government will support people, and they don't do it, their shareholders can actually take that CEO to court and hold them financially and legally responsible. It's called fiduciary responsibility. As a CEO, you are legally responsible to try to maximize money for your shareholders. You cannot be a CEO and on purpose hurt your company. Otherwise, you can get a lot of trouble. Your shareholders will force you out, and you can be on the line for that. That is why companies act the way they do. And I think that it's not Walmart's fault for doing that. It's the government's fault. And see, my whole thing with that argument too is people say, well, Walmart wouldn't be, like, people can't survive off food stamps or whatever, and Walmart knows that, so they pay them less so that they have to get food stamps, blah, blah, blah. If the government didn't give them food stamps, Walmart would either have to pay more money to keep their people, or people would have to work somewhere else, right? And it's weird to blame, I think, Walmart for that one. I think the government is giving Walmart the crutch. You missed a bit. Let's see. I remember when Amazon only sold books. Yeah, right? Remember old Amazon? Why does Amazon not pay taxes? Well, in the same reason a lot of businesses will get around it. A big thing that they'll go on about, when you have taxes, a lot of taxes can be written off as business expenses. And you have to understand, what you have to understand about Amazon is Amazon's a huge company, right? But like I said, Amazon, it's not like Amazon makes hundreds of billions of dollars a year, and I think it was 2015 until 2015. Think about Amazon for like 15 to 20 years, or however long they were around, or before that, or maybe even longer. They did not run a profit. They lost money every year. So you have to ask yourself, well, how could they keep expanding? Well, all the money that they would take in, they would put back in the business. And when your expenses match your income, you can write off a lot of business expenses. When the government won't tax your revenue if you have expenses, right? Because otherwise, like if you start a restaurant and your restaurant pulls in revenue, so before expenses, your restaurant pulls in $100,000 a year, and let's say the tax rate is 30%, you'd expect the government to take 30%, right? So then you think you'd have $70,000 left over, but that's not true, because you have to pay for your staff, you have to pay for your utilities, your building, you have to buy ovens, you have to buy the food, and all those things are business expenses, and a lot of those things you can write off. So what they mean by that is, if you buy an oven and the oven's $20,000, you can write off the oven, and that means that if the government's going to tax you for $30,000, that's $20,000 of that $30,000 you don't have to pay, because in a way that tax that went to the government didn't go to the government, it went to improving your business. You know what I mean? And because otherwise, if you start a restaurant and it's $100,000, if you make $100,000 and your expenses for the first year are $120,000, what would happen if the government hit you with another $30,000 tax? You know what I mean? At the end of the year, you go out of business. So companies like that, if their expenses match their income, then it's fine. So really what you're looking at with Amazon, the reason a lot of Amazon doesn't pay taxes is because they spend as much money as they make. That's usually what it comes down to. No worries. That's another point of view I never considered. All right, wouldn't all our minds be blown if Bernie did in fact voice Mojo? That's the problem. The laws need to change so that Walmart can't be paying unlivable wages. That is all. No, I agree. I 100% agree. I know not to get a job at a place floated on the stock exchange. LOL. ALR got bored when we all started talking history, politics, and finance. It went over her head. Right. I got $16 an hour doing data entry at my last job. Small family-owned place. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yep. Hey, kids, drop out of school and just listen to Yesterday. Well, maybe you don't drop out of school because I'm not accredited, right? I can't give you a piece of paper that says you went to my university. I can, but that's not going to help you get a job. The deed of the Chadiversity. Welcome to the Chadversity. Welcome to Chadversity, bruh. Hope you brought your beers. Shotgunning 101. What a joke, man. Economics, what I went to school for, yeah. Should be like a weekly school session with 5V, huh? Does Jeff Bezos, as an individual, pay taxes? I'm confused. Of course, well, everybody pays taxes, right? And if Jeff Bezos didn't, he wouldn't have it. And that's another thing too that's weird, because people will go on about Jeff Bezos and what he's worth, and they'll go on a rant about how he's worth like $1 trillion, or no, not $1 trillion, of course, but he's like 100 or 200 billion or whatever he's worth. And they're like, that's not fair because he's worth this, blah, 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 this much more than anyone else. We should take that money and give it to people. But that's the same thing. You can't assume all things are going to be equal, because Jeff Bezos might be worth $200 billion, but that doesn't mean he has $200 billion sitting in a checking account that he can just spend. He probably has, like, realistically, he probably has like a couple million in a bank account, or a couple bank accounts that he has access to, and the rest of it is Amazon stock. It's things that he owns. That's like looking at a guy. Well, it's like if you're in debt it's like if you have $500 in your bank account, but you own a $1,000 car, you're worth $500, but you can't, that doesn't help you like buy another $1,000 thing. You know what I mean? Because it's not liquid money. It's represented in ownership. It's because he owns a certain percentage of Amazon, and they take the whole worth of Amazon, and this piece belongs to Jeff Bezos. And that's how they know how much he's worth. That's where they're getting that number. And that number fluctuates like crazy. And the only way to get that money is to force him to sell. And by forcing him to sell, the price will collapse. So realistically, he's worth a lot less than that. Teach us how to buy a Lambo cash, huh? I bet Chad doesn't pay taxes. I pay taxes. Everyone does. You just gotta find stuff to write stuff off. Then you don't have to as much, right? Can you do my economics homework? Economics is fun to talk about theory. It's not fun to do in practice because it's all math. There you go, Haley. I support it. Show us proof you pay taxes, LOL. Well, tell you what, I'll give you my social security number. Just go to the IRS website and check. Yeah, right, huh? Chad is my new spirit animal. I used to think stuff like this was boring, but you make it interesting and easy to understand. You really have a gift for explaining this stuff. You see, well, you have to find people who are passionate about it, because it is interesting. If he was my teacher, I would never miss class. IV needs a green screen that he can project a basic high school AV room and do weekly lessons. I think that'd be funny, and you could do it like intentionally bad. You know what I mean? Like it's intentionally a poor quality background, very obviously a green screen. It looks like I'm all fuzzy around the outside. Hey class, I have an apple on the desk. Have you ever heard of Young Blood? Is that like a rapper? By the way, we've got 7 minutes left until the stream is over, so get your questions in. Well, right, exactly. Glad you explained this, because so many people don't understand basic economics. Well, the biggest thing, there's a Latin term for it. In Economics 101, you'll learn it. Let me look at it quick. I always forget it. The most important concept, I think, in economics, here it is. Ceteris paribus is the term that they use. It's Latin, and it means other things equal. That is the most important thing to understand about economies, and why governments and big companies and stuff like that act the way they do, or why they shouldn't get involved in major economic decisions. And it's because you can't, it's really hard to go in, like, if you were going to look at an industry and you looked at like the video game industry and you said you wanted it to be 10% bigger within 5 years, it's really hard to do that, especially if you're going to try to do it without damaging another part of the economy, because You have to pull money. Money just doesn't come out of nowhere. Money, when you put money somewhere, you're taking money from somewhere else, and you're moving it around. And when you do that, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? Is what they'll say. But the most important thing, like I said, is assuming that not all things are equal. You can't assume that everything's going to stay the same. If you try to make the video game industry 10% bigger, you're going to send a ripple effect through the movie industry, through the book industry, through everything. You know what I mean? Fun fact, the weird island sizing thing is actually standard for the most rest of the world. It's America sizing that's weird. Yeah, I assumed that was the case. It does seem like America would be the weird one out there. Did Fatty react to your video? No, I don't think he did, but I haven't checked in a little bit. Mukbang Fatty. I hope he did. I don't think he did. That really frustrates me because I was really excited for that. I think it would probably help him get to 1,000 subscribers too. That really breaks my heart that he didn't. I actually was excited for that. I was thinking about getting, I decided against it, but I was thinking about actually getting one of my ears pierced, kind of like he did, just as like a joke. I'm reporting you for bullying economics and taxes. Yeah, you better. You better. It's cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is illegal, which I doubt. Is cyberbullying illegal? Stopbullying.gov. Huh. Prevention. Teach kids. Yeah, kids, exactly. It's for 5-year-olds. That's part of the problem. It must be like, it must be a state-to-state thing, huh? Well, what a joke. How do you... The problem with laws like that is you have to set a standard for what bullying is, and it's not a super easy thing to know. Do you think GameStop is a racket? No, I think that, they offer a fairly good service. That's there. I mean, who else is gonna... It's the convenience is what you could get nickeled for, right? Is like if you buy a game and resell it to them. What do you expect? It's the convenience that they're there. It's a guaranteed sale for you, you know? If you want to make more money somewhere else, take it somewhere else. It's not like they're forcing you. It's not like there's a weird clause that you can only resell it to them. You know what I mean? I'm okay with GameStop. I'm not against buying games there. I think they're done, right? Give an invite to live in the jungle. Thanks. Do you have a hospitality or business management degree? You sound as if you have a bachelor's degree in one of those things. No, I don't have a degree in those. I'm going to report you for making my gay brain learn about economics. This is the longest stream I've ever watched, and I'm not bored at all. Nice. Well, that's good to hear. I have a weird crush on Mukbang Fatty. Yeah, me too. He's cute, isn't he? If she doesn't put her on the spot like she does with all her other videos, I'll be fuming. If she doesn't put her on the spot like she does with all her videos, I don't understand that. Ooh, where were we? Where? The Banana Girl is uploading her video on Amber in like an hour. I don't know if anyone said that yet, but yeah. Oh, so see, you guys have a place to go. You have a home. There'll be more Amberlynn stuff tonight. Am I in a relationship? That is none of your beeswax. In other words, it's beeswax that ain't yours, my friend. I thought you said Ratchet. What, like Ratchet and Clank? I love those games. I like third-person, goofy, like cartoony platformers, like Banjo-Kazooie and Ratchet and Clank, and the first Jak and Dexter is awesome. Man, those are good games. I really wish I'd play those. Did you make your profile screen? It's simple but cute. You know, I didn't. A pal of mine made it, and he said, "Well, this is a rough draft of kind of what I'm thinking." And I said the same thing. I was like, "It's simple, dude. It's simple but bold. I like it." And I said I usually wear white t-shirts, so it's like a white background. It's got the glasses, and it's got my brown hair. What else do I need? You know what I mean? And I kind of do this with the thing. So I like my profile picture. No, he made it for me as a rough draft, and I liked it so much I just kept it. I really like it. Let's see. What was this? Have you been to the swamp that is Florida? Never. I've never been to Florida. I've been to Mexico, and that wasn't like a swamp, though. That was beautiful. My favorite anime? Well, I'm a sucker for a cat and mouse type of story, and the best one is Death Note, right? Oh, that is such a good show, Death Note. If you guys have never watched, even if you're not into anime, it is probably one of the most mainstream ones. Death Note is phenomenal. Not the movie. I haven't seen the movie, but the TV show. Kingdom Hearts. Never played it. I have a ton of Sister Wives. I'm like a Mormon. Uncharted series. You need to play them if you haven't already. No, I haven't played those. I think I played a demo. I've heard good things. I've always really liked your logo. I really like my logo too. I think it's, like I said, it's simple. You know what they said about Lenin? They said bearded and bold, right? Bearded and bold. I think that's kind of the same idea there. It reminds me of my husband when I was younger. I hope that's nice. The way he said anime. Well, come on, that's because I'm like a full weeb. I hit something on my computer and now my screen's turning. Okay, we're good. Anime. I'm not. You gotta respect the Japanese culture. What is that? You hear that music? That's awesome. That's really peaceful. That's what happens when you hit random buttons. I'm from the swamp that is Florida. No, I've never been. You know what though? Speaking of swamp stuff, I just recently started watching Naked and Afraid. How crazy is that show, huh? They look like Holocaust victims in the end, don't they? They're really really little, and they're always in swamps. And when they get into the I saw this one, and they get out of the boat, and they're in like they just step in the swamp, in the water, and like, oh man, I'd be so scared of poisonous stuff. No way. I don't think I couldn't do it. Yeah, you'll like the Uncharted series. The guys who made Crash Bandicoot made the Uncharted series. Right, it's Naughty Dog, right? They made Jack and Dexter as well. I really like Jack and Dexter. And they made Last of Us, I think. I played like a half of that, and then the PlayStation 4 came out, and I never played it since. Have I seen Survivor? Some of it, yeah. Some of it I've seen Survivor. That looks like an interesting one, too. Well, same people who make Survivor make Big Brother, and I haven't seen a lot of Big Brother, but I saw season 16, and I was hooked, man. I am a sucker for like backroom dealings and conniving and like plotting and teams and secret teams and like different stuff like that. And they're like planning to throw games to screw each other over and stuff. And man, I love that stuff. So I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. When people hate each other are forced to cuddle naked for warmth. Yeah, that's they always have to do that, right? They always say the same thing. They're like, not sure how I feel about laying naked next to a dude I just met, but you gotta do what you gotta do. What do you think about learning about another culture through their food? I don't think that is the best or the most important way to learn about it. I think it's a really fun way to learn about it, though, and I think it's a really important aspect because it can tell you a lot about them. Like, you can even learn a lot about like Chinese culture and stuff, right? Because isn't why they did stir fry? Isn't stir fry because when they were fighting wars a long time ago, they were fighting and there was a lot more shrubbery and there weren't a lot of trees. So when they had fires, they had to figure out how to cook food faster. And they figured out if they cut food into smaller pieces, it cooks faster. And that's like a big reason stir fry was a thing. Have you seen Fear Factor with Joe Rogan? Yeah, when I was like young, when I was in probably elementary school, at some point before middle school or something, I used to watch that. My family used to watch that, and then it turns out, then like last year or 2 years ago, I find out Joe Rogan's a big podcast guy, and I'm like, Joe Rogan from Fear Factor? No kidding. Celebrity Big Brother from UK. Do they have a Celebrity Big Brother from a US? Is it people that you'd know? I have never watched the After Dark feeds. Do you have to pay for them? Thoughts on gun control? I think the Second Amendment is pretty clear on especially the part about the shall not be infringed part. I think is pretty clear about guns, Dandelion, and I think that Did they stir fry in their helmets, or is that a myth? I could believe it. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. That's a pretty popular thing, right? Where it's like they didn't have a lot of stuff and it's hard to make things. Like Spartans would sleep in their cloaks. They didn't bring bedrolls. That was a thing. They trained to do that. Mongolians were very well at war. They're one of the first ones to use to start drinking milk widespread on the warpath, and that allowed them to not have to pull huge wagon trains of food to keep their soldiers supplied because they could eat horses and drink the milk from the horses, and that allows their army to be super mobile, so the Chinese couldn't stop them. Oh, I got interested in Korea and learned some Korean characters, food, the menu at the Korean bar BBQ. There you go. You've been asked before, but have you seen The Walking Dead Season 10 trailer yet? You know what? I have not seen the trailer, and I do like Walking Dead. That is one of the shows that I will watch every week when it comes out. YV packing heat? Maybe. Don't try to come into my house, so you might find out. Even though Joe Rogan is bald, I'd still tape that. Yeah, I'd tape him too. I'd tape him so hard up on the wall. You typers. John Cochran. Who's that? No kidding. Trisha Paytas was on one season? That's crazy. I feel like you're the one decent guy in the frat. I was not in a frat. I used to live with some dudes, though, and a guy that was one of their pals visited, and he was in a frat, and I was like, oh, so, like, you're, like, part of a frat, right? Not meaning anything by it. And he got all serious, and he went, it is fraternity. If my brothers heard you say that, they'd kick your ass. I was like, okay, dude. I, like, kind of laughed. Like, how do you respond to that? That's like the virgin thing, you know? Or, like, calling someone a nerd. That's such a... you made yourself look like an idiot. Congratulations, you played yourself. DJ Khaled. No cheese with Korean barbecue. That's what I love about Chinese places, is you don't even have to worry about there being cheese. I'll have to check out season 10. I've seen some pictures from it. I'll have to check it out. Army should breastfeed some slaves. Okay. I don't know what frat he was in. I was never part of a frat. I'll just say I'll throw out some Greek numerals. I'll throw out some things from the phonetic alphabet. Romeo, Sierra, Yankee. That was my frat. Romeo, Sierra, Yankee. It was India Hotel Romeo was my frat. Perez Hilton. What's up? Well, I feel like I'm sure the Big Brother UK is fine, but sometimes when you hear people with different accents, it's hard to... You have to, like, think about it extra... You have to think about it, like, 5 or 10 or 20% more just to understand what they say. You know what I mean? It's not a lot, but it's enough to where I like, kind of lose interest. All right. Pike, Sigma, Nu, or SAE? I don't even know, man. I was just not even involved with it. I was asked. I just never... Well, I don't know. It's kind of like, it was one of those things. I was like, I don't think so. Well, it was like schedules and stuff, and I was like, you want me to come here every week? Oh, Heather G. Hey, I'm late. When did you go live? 2 hours ago. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll be able to see when I go live. I always tweet before I do. Boxers Brief Boxers. Always. OMG, I was in the nerd sororities that paid me instead. LOL, still not cool. There you go. And what are y'all talking about? Not much. I'm actually about to head off because it's 9:06, and I said we were going to go till 8:30 or 9. And look at us. We're going longer. He's a frat boy, everyone. Watch out or you'll get spanked. Oh, my God. You guys are so goofy. I should be reading these more before I just say them, right? Frats are such a weird foreign thing. Like, I always thought they were just something for movies or TV because we don't have them here. I think that they're fine. What I think it's good about them is well, what's the great thing about them, right? They do allow you, that is one thing I will say about it that I wish I had more of, was the ability to connect and what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you can build business relationships. So later in life, you have people that are all part of your frat or your fraternity or whatever, and you can if they work in a business, they can open doors for you that wouldn't have otherwise been there. You know what I mean? Or if the guy owns a business and he used to be a frat or something, like they'll hire within that. You know what I'm saying? It opens up business relationships that are really nice. It's just a community. It's kind of like the church, the college version of church in a way. It's a way of building a community. For structure, you can help each other study. You just kind of band together because you don't necessarily know people if you go on there. Can you follow my Instagram? Of course. All you gotta do is type in Yistervark on Instagram. You guys will get there. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers. Who is spanking? Did you ever set up that P.O. box? That's a good question. I actually was at UPS today, and I was just looking at their prices for it, but I didn't end up setting anything up. They call it something different though. Good God, you read all the chats. I really try to. Yes, networking. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Heather G, that's okay if you don't got a Twitter. If you have an Instagram, you follow me there. The N-word. Yup. Some frats can be good, but others are truly terrifying and just wrong. Well, it's tricky too, because when you have like a partying culture, you know, people do dumb stuff when they're drunk. So it gets tricky. Well, okay, I think we've almost got it here. 2 more minutes, and then it's going to be a solid cutoff. That is where we are at. I'm spanking all the cuties. Okay. Oh, my gosh. Say it. That's a bad word. You want me to say a bad word? Twat? Twat. You twat. You twit. Nutella? I think I tried it like once. It was okay. I wouldn't like go out of my way to buy it, but it is okay. It's alright. The music fret. See, that sounds kind of sick. Wink before I go. You know me. I'll always give you guys winks. That's like the winky face with the one tongue out. Or with the tongue out. Okay, one more minute. Toss him in. Toss him in. Yeah. Good night, Chad. See ya, Taylor. I appreciate you, Brewer. That's where the Brewers are a team here. Did anyone ever contact you about Streamlabs stuff, my dude? Yeah. Yep. Tweet me, you twat. Oh, unbelievable. That is so goofy. You guys, I end up like now I wink to you guys. Now when I'm like in the real world, like I was hanging out with my brother and my cousin last night, and all right, my tongue's huge, huh? And not like now if I say like a joke, I'll wink at somebody, and like my cousin was like, "Don't wink at me, you creep." It's kind of a it's kind of a funny thing. Dope, glad to hear it. Oh my gosh. Virtual wink back at ya. Oh man, you guys are so gosh darn goofy. Right? Do you wipe back to front? What a ridiculous question. Chris Humongous. They cheapened the recipe of Nutella. It's different now. More palm oil. Good night, y'all. See ya. Yeah, maybe. Do I think Desby is Amber? Okay, if I'm being honest, 60% of me says no. But at the same time, I swear I just saw a picture where someone did stuff. Huh, so you do cuss. Yeah, I do sometimes. Hey. Okay, well, alright. I gotta get going, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your night. I can't keep getting sucked back into these combos. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. I hope you have a good one. I appreciate it. You know I do.